Bruce Bochy and the Giants enter the final weekend of the first half with the best record in the game. Behind the strength of their stellar starting rotation and Gold Glove caliber defense, the skipper has been able to piece together a lineup that gets the job done no matter who gets the call. Tonight, the Giants look to finish out the first half on a strong note. It's game one versus the D-backs next.
It's a beautiful night here at the corner of 3rd and King Streets, and the fans are making their way in. The final series before the All-Star break, the Giants and the D-backs, game one. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with my crew code. Dwayne Kuiper is on assignment, and Dave Fleming will be over in the middle innings. Now, the Giants are facing this Arizona ball club. It's been a nightmare of a season for Arizona, especially when they've been home. But this team, which was expected to contend, has been playing like a contender on the road. They have one of the better road records in all of Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's 6 games over 500 on the road, and that jumps off the page. Nobody can explain their record at home as to why it's so poor. But remember too, they faced the Giants in a 4-game series here in San Francisco earlier this season. They won all 4 of those games. Giants know that they have a very, very desperate team coming at them, because in the eyes of the Diamondbacks, and they're going to get a lot healthier this year after the All-Star break, they have to make a stand here this last 3-game series against the Giants. So the Giants, they have a chance. They can really hurt this team. They give the ball to Jeff Samardzija, who's coming off a great start against these very same Diamondbacks, so it ought to be a pretty good one.
Bernard Span back in there for the Giants tonight, hitting leadoff back of Samardzija. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our CSN Bay Area studios for an update right after this.
Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, it's Orange Friday, and the Giants have one last series before the All-Star break as they welcome in division rivals, the Arizona Diamondbacks, for a 3-game series. Welcome back to our broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. Your San Francisco Giants well rested after a rare day off at home. And the Giants bullpen, they should be extremely fresh because they got a 2-day break courtesy of Johnny Cueto's complete game on Wednesday night. Now we noticed Johnny's got his own little routine out there, and his teammates noticed as well. It is our greater coverage of baseball. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. As we look back at Wednesday night, after the third out of every inning, Cueto removes his cap and then he tucks his cap under his arm, gives those dreads a little bit of a breather. Now check this out. After his complete game Wednesday night, Brandon Belt, Baby Giraffe, coordinates a team-wide cap removal effort to honor Cueto's gym. Cueto loves it. Huge smile. I think he may also have been smiling, though, because he knows that his hair looked better than anyone else's. Just a thought and just my opinion. All right, Jeff Samardzija, he has good hair, too. He's on the mound tonight for your San Francisco Giants. Dwayne Kuiper on assignment. You get John Miller, Mike Krukow. Lineup, first pitch. Stay with us.
On CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, it's Orange Friday, and the Giants have one last series before the All-Star break as they welcome in division rivals, the Arizona Diamondbacks, for a 3-game series. Welcome back to our broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. Your San Francisco Giants well rested after a rare day off at home. And the Giants bullpen, they should be extremely fresh because they got a 2-day break courtesy of Johnny Cueto's complete game on Wednesday night. Now we noticed Johnny's got his own little routine out there, and his teammates noticed as well. It is our greater coverage of baseball. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. As we look back at Wednesday night, after the third out of every inning, Cueto removes his cap and then he tucks his cap under his arm, gives those dreads a little bit of a breather. Now check this out. After his complete game Wednesday night, Brandon Belt, Baby Giraffe, coordinates a team-wide cap removal effort to honor Cueto's gym. Cueto loves it. Huge smile. I think he may also have been smiling, though, because he knows that his hair looked better than anyone else's. Just a thought and just my opinion. All right, Jeff Samardzija, he has good hair, too. He's on the mound tonight for your San Francisco Giants. Dwayne Kuiper on assignment. You get John Miller, Mike Krukow. Lineup, first pitch. Stay with us.
And the marine layer starting to settle over the top of the ballpark. The game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 61 degrees, 13-mile-an-hour winds out of the west. The humidity, as you can see right there, it's humid. When you can't see 5 feet in front of your nose, that's because it's very humid. The forecast is for overcast skies, as somehow we already knew. Giants take the field. Let's take a look at the batting order that Jeff Samardzija will be facing for Arizona. Gene Segura, second base. Michael Bourne, center field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base, headed to the All-Star game. Jake Lamb having a great first half, but outvoted by Brandon Belt for the final spot of the All-Star team. Wellington Castillo, the catcher. Yasmani Tomas, right field, hitting sixth. Brandon Drury, a powerful rookie, left field. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, and Patrick Corbin is the pitcher, batting ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the veteran Jeff Samardzija, 6'5", 225 years old, or 225 pounds, 31 years of age. He is in his 7th year at the big league level. Samardzija is 2014 National League All-Star, making start number 18. He's 8-5 with a 3.97 ERA. That's the most wins he's ever had prior to the All-Star game, trying to add number 9 on tonight. When you take your at-bats against Samardzija, you're going to see high velocity with two-seam fastball and a cut fastball, anywhere from 92 to 97 miles per hour. He will be in that slot with both velocities. He also has a slider and a circle changeup. Lifetime against Arizona, 1-1 with a 4.06 ERA. And what do you say we take a look at the defense playing behind Samardzija tonight, starting in the Giants outfield from left to right. It'll be Pagan, Span, and Williamson. We welcome Denard Span back. Best arm in the outfield for the Giants tonight will be Williamson in right field. Crawford and Tejada, they'll be on the left side of the infield. Grant Green joined by All-Star Brandon Belt. That's the right side. Buster Posey, another All-Star. He'll be putting down the sign, sitting in the squad, and that's how they will wrap it up tonight with defense. Time now for our Nissan keys to the game. And for Samardzija, it's corner command. How do you maintain corner command with that high velocity? That'll be a key tonight. And number 2, field the Span. Denard Span feeling better. He's back in the lineup, looking to make an impact. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
And Samardzija ready to go with Gene Segura standing in for Arizona. And Segura, the former Brewer, having an excellent first half with his new team, hitting .317, .363 on base. That ball is hit deep down the left field line. If it's fair, it could be trouble. It is a fair ball and a long home run. On the first pitch of the game, Segura hits his 6th home run of the year, and that was out of here with plenty to spare as it whistled past that .339 marker and well back into that tunnel.
So if you're Jeff Samardzija, you spot him one and go from there. Two-seam movement. Segura does a nice job of staying inside this ball. Well, the belt middle end. I mean, that pitch right there breaks a lot of bats. With that swing, you can beat it. Impressive swing.
Now Michael Bourne, and that's ball 1.
Bad luck to hit a home run first pitch of the game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Now bad luck for the guy who hit it or for the team for which he hit it?
Oh, for the team for which he hit it.
Okay, good to know.
It's our Toyota Expo brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. You can see just how far that thing went down the tunnel in left field. That was no cheapie.
1-1 to Michael Bourne. And the foul tapped off to the right over toward Paul Goldschmidt, who's on deck. Well, we're just given word from the press box that it's the 3rd time in Segura's career that he has led off a game with a home run. And that is all for Michael Bourne. One away.
Well placed fastball above the hands on that inside corner. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think Samardzija's feeling like he made a mistake with that first pitch to Segura. I mean, it was on the corner with movement coming into the right-handed hitting Segura. That's just a great swing of the bat.
Paul Goldschmidt. Arizona got a lot of guys who can hurt you if you do make a mistake. That's a foul ball, and it's 0-1. You can start with Paul Goldschmidt, and he's another guy. Even if you don't make a mistake, he might hurt you.
Now they're coming out of bed swinging, and they're not taking pitches against Samardzija. They saw him 6 days ago in Arizona. He took the ball and went into the 8th inning with a pitch well against him.
He left the game with the lead. There is Span fielding it on a hop, and that's a base hit for Goldschmidt. The Dodgers playing at home against the Padres this evening. That game is underway with Scott Kazmir pitching for LA. Andrew Kashner will be on the mound for the Padres. Yeah, Gene Segura. You hit it well.
Gene, we're talking about you.
Jake Lamb, and diving back to the bag at first is Goldschmidt, and you got to keep an eye on him. He'll run if you don't. Jake Lamb, what an impressive first half. His OPS is almost 1,000. Got the highest slugging percentage in the entire National League. 1 ball and no strikes. The umpiring alignment: Quinn Walcott back of the plate with Mark Carlson at first, Mike DeMuro at second, crew chief, longtime veteran Brian Gorman at third base, and there's Walcott back of the plate.
Yeah, he's a low ball umpire, and he's got some width on both sides of the plate. I think he's a good umpire. I think if he has any weirdness, it's at the belt.
Check swing and a foul.
He will call some high strikes on occasion, but not consistently at the belt. But down around the knees, I think he's good.
Talked about Goldschmidt keeping an eye on him. He's got the most stolen bases by a first baseman going back to 2012. By far, nobody's even close. He had 21 steals last year. And he's back to the bag again.
He's just a good, well, he's a great athlete. I mean, he's got quick feet. He's got quick, soft hands. He's got a tremendous instinct on the base pass. And defensively, he's just the whole package.
Foul tip into the glove of Buster Posey. Strike 2. Jeff Samardzija, who with 8 wins here in the first half of the season, that is already a career high for him in wins before the All-Star break. But he has not actually had a win to his record since June 17th. 3 weeks ago. Too high. 2-2. Jake Lamb, I'm sure he had to be disappointed he did not win that balloting. His numbers were certainly All-Star worthy. On the other hand, he's a young guy still starting out. He had been primarily a platoon player in the past for Arizona and really has blossomed in a big way the first half of this year.
I think his platoon days are over.
And back to the screen.
You watch Jake Lamb grow in this game. I don't think there's anything. There's no fluke about his game. He's the real deal. I think these numbers that he's throwing up here in the first half, I think you're going to see them the rest of his career. And right now he is on fire. Last 19 games, hitting 388. And it's a hard 388.
Three and 2. The Giants have always had a hard time getting him out. But when they came into San Francisco back in mid-April, he really tore it up here. You may recall he hit a 9th inning home run that tied game 1 of that series, and Arizona eventually won it in the 11th. And he knocked in another run in that 11th inning. He had an RBI triple in one of the games, and 2 more hits, including a double in the final game of that 4-game sweep of the Giants back here in April. Still 3 and 2. At AT&T Park, the last 14 games they've played in this yard, including 4 this year, they're 12 and 2 here. Their pitching has been great in this ballpark, and their hitting has been great. There goes Goldschmidt. A foul, back out of play.
And I think the other thing, I mean, this is an urgent series for this Diamondbacks team. And they know that. I mean, they're 16 games back of the Giants. They're last place in the National League West. They figure to get a whole lot healthier with some real key people coming back the second half. But this 3-day weekend, I mean, this is big in the grand scheme of things for this club. And they still feel they could get back in this. The Giants can really hurt them this weekend.
3 and 2 the count. Goldschmidt goes again, and that's ball 4. Well, Lamb really worked hard to get that walk. So 2 men on with 1 man out, and Castillo coming up. That was a 9-pitch plate appearance for Jake Lamb. He fouled away some tough pitches. He took some close ones. 2 men on. And that's dribbled foul over toward the on-deck circle where Tomas is getting ready. On 1 the count to Castillo, who in that, there's Tony La Russa, who's the president of this Arizona ball club. And you see the Diamondbacks, their all-star center fielder from last year, counted upon as their leadoff man. He's been out the whole season. Several other big injuries in the first half of the year. And that one sinking low. Dave Stewart, the new general manager of the D-backs. So the brain trust is here. San Francisco tonight. Tony La Russa still has his offseason home over in the East Bay. Former manager of the Oakland Athletics for many, many years. Goldschmidt at second, Lamb at first. A run already in. And that's off the inside. It's 2-1.
Next pitch from Samardzija will be number 20.
Castillo, in that game that Samardzija pitched last Saturday in Arizona, is the guy that hit the 3-run homer to put Arizona on top in that game in the 8th inning.
Good hard slider there.
That was after Samardzija had been taken out of the game.
Take a look at the little red dot in the ball. It tips the rotation of the pitch, telling you it's a slider. It's the same thing that a hitter will see that tips the pitch. That's a good late hard snap and break there.
2-2 the count to Wellington Castillo, who has 10 home runs, 277 average. Well off the inside.
And this becomes a big pitch. Don't ever want to walk somebody over to third base with less than 2 outs.
Yasmani Tomas on deck. 3-2 the count. That is high and foul, and will go back out of play on the first base side. And Posiak to speak to Jeff Samardzija, who's working awfully hard in this inning.
Well, I think right now more than anything, just give him a bit of a breather. See the wind whipping around. It's, you know, it's that one inning of vulnerability, and every good pitcher has it. First inning, when you can't find your rhythm, you know, you'll miss locations. You won't have all your pitches working. This is a big pitch in this game.
This Arizona lineup, it's a little bit of a meat grinder. Forget about where they are in the standings. A lot of guys getting hit in this lineup. And that's back out of play.
Like another slider that was kind of a submit mixer. It didn't do a whole lot. But he knows he's got to put it in the strike zone.
Castillo 1 for 6 lifetime versus Samardzija. He used to be battery mates with the Cubs. Down the left field line, foul. Back into the crowd.
Well, Castillo was the guy that broke the Giants' hearts in Arizona. The only game that the D-backs won was a game that they won by way of a 3-run homer off of the bat of Castillo. And it was Samardzija's game. I mean, he was on line to win that ball game.
Castillo, that was not his first home run against the Giants either. 4 in 9 games against them. This will be the 9th pitch of this battle. 3-2, 2 men on. Right center field, and there is Williamson. Goldschmidt tags and stays put. So he wins that battle with Castillo, but that's 2 straight hitters who've taken him 9 pitches deep before their at bat was determined. 25 pitches overall in the inning, and here is Yasmani Tomas.
And he's going to be hacking. First pitch. I mean, everybody off the bench has been swinging at the first thing they're seeing from Samardzija tonight. And this guy has that reputation of being very aggressive on the first pitch.
Tomas, his average has been falling lately, but he does have 13 home runs this year. 255 average. 2 on, 2 out. And it's 0-1. Took something off that one.
Like a changeup.
Tomas 0 for 6. A few times that he's faced Samardzija. 1-0. Arizona leading. 2 men on. Into the hole. Goldschmidt's going to be waved home. Pagan will not throw, and it is 2-0 Arizona.
Ground ball, and it was hit to the right spot.
Set in the outside corner, it's right to the glove. It wasn't a hanger, so I mean he's not making mistakes out over the middle of the plate. This is just a C&I ground ball, and it's not an easy thing to do to get one by Crawford. Winds up being a good at bat for Tomas.
So Lamb went to second, and here's the 7th batter to come up in the inning, Drury. This will be the 28th pitch of the inning. And ball one. Drury, the rookie out of the Arizona farm system, got 9 home runs, 274 average. He's one of the outstanding rookies in the league this year. 5th in the league in home runs among all rookies. That's a called strike. So Arizona jumping ahead right away here in the first inning. 2 runs in on 3 hits. There's been a walk. They still have 2 men on. And Jeff Samardzija having a very stressful inning right out of the box. This will be his 30th pitch. 1-2. One thing is, without question, these D-backs, they feel very comfortable in this ballpark. And why not? The way they've just beaten up the Giants here, not just earlier this year, but last year too.
Well, you're right. They're confident.
They're confident this year almost everywhere except in their home games. And that, at long last, ends the inning. 2nd strikeout for Samardzija. The D-backs get 2. It'll be Span, Pagan, and Belt when we get back. To bat here in the first inning. Let's take a look at the Giants batting order now, with Denard Span back in there, center field. Angel Pagan, left field. Brandon Belt, newly minted all-star, first base. Buster Posey, all-star, will be the starting catcher for the National League. The catcher, Brandon Crawford at short. Mac Williamson in right. Grant Green at second. Ruben Tejada at third. And Jeff Samardzija, the pitcher, hitting 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be Patrick Corbin, the left-hander, and he's a 4-year veteran. 6'3", 210-pounder is what he has done in 17 starts, 4-6 with a 4.90 ERA. Lifetime against the Giants at 13 career starts, 4-4 with a 3.47 ERA. And when you take your bats against him, you're going to see a low 90s fastball. He'll 2-4 seam, and he'll sink and cut. A slider and a changeup, good changeup.
Lefty versus lefty, and that is too low. 1 ball to no strikes. The Giants saw Corbin back in Arizona over the weekend, and he lasted 5 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs, including a couple of home runs. That's called a strike on the outside. Brandon Crawford and Mac Williamson hit home runs back-to-back in the 4th inning of that game. And for Williamson, that was the home run that hit the center field scoreboard there in Arizona. Off the inside. 2-1. Corbin's numbers not that great. He got a 4.9 earned run average. more hits than innings pitched, and 17 homers allowed, or 1 homer for every 6 innings pitched. Just off the outside. 3-1. There's Pagan on deck. Called a strike on the inside. Full count.
Take a look at the pitch usage for Patrick Corbin. You can see the fastball, which the 2 and the 4-seamer is going to come up in that statistic for the fastball. With the sliders, his #1 breaking ball, and the changeup he'll throw anytime, at any count, to any hitter.
Right to the shortstop. Ahmed has got great hands. 1 away.
Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively behind Patrick Corbin. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it'll be Drury, Bourne, and Tomas. The best arm in right field with Tomas. Ahmed and Lamb on the left side of the infield. Segura and Goldschmidt on the right side. Wellington Castillo, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Angel Pagan up now. Pagan, 286 average, 332 on base. You see his numbers: 4 homers, 30 batted in. Facing Corbin. Giants are down 2-0 here in the last half of the first. Pagan has had more at bats against Corbin than any other current Giant. 34 at bats and a 265 average against him. Brandon Belt out on deck. Right to the third baseman, Lamb. 2 down.
And voted onto the National League roster today, an all-star for the very first time. First baseman, #9, Brandon Belt.
Well, she's happy. And if she's happy, we're all happy.
Brandon Belt, first Giant to make an All-Star game appearance as a first baseman since the days of Will Clark. And when Will Clark was here, it was pretty much an annual thing. And that is strike 1. He swung at it. And a little bit late, too. 0-1 the count. Brandon Belt, 300 average. Left field, waiting for it, Drury, plenty of room, and the Giants go down very quietly for Corbin. That was a 10-pitch inning, and Samardzich's got to go right back to work. Giants stretch drive starts today and runs through Sunday. Throughout this 3-day campaign, we'll ask you for your support of the Giants Community Fund's Junior Giants program, a free non-competitive baseball and life skills program for over 25,000 kids. In its 25th anniversary, the fund is proud to offer this program that teaches kids critical life skills so they grow up healthy and ready to learn and grow. There's a called strike to Ahmed leading it off. You can visit jrgiants.org to learn what's special about this year's stretch drive and how you can get a commemorative Matt Duffy bobblehead. That's jrgiants.org. Thank you in advance for your support. Crawford, this is going to be a long throw. He got him. Wow. Brandon Belt did Stretch himself proud on that one, stretching out as McCovey used to be able to do in the old days to haul it in.
And Ahmed 4-3. That's what his time was from home to first. And there needed to be 2 parts of that play. Crawford to the backhand, sets up quickly, the great arm, and watch the stretch from the 6'5" Brandon Belt. Beautiful. It's an all-star play.
So, and one is and one isn't an all-star. I mean, Patrick Corbin at the plate, and it's a foul off to the right. 0-2 the count, facing Samardzija here in the second. Samardzija could use a quick inning after throwing 31 pitches in the first. Corbin is an excellent hitting pitcher. .324 average with 3 batted in. No home runs. He does have 3 doubles and a triple. Padres have a 1-0 lead over the Dodgers going to the last of the first in LA on the out-of-town scoreboard. That's a base hit. Now let's go down to Amy G.
All right, John, as you said, we're kicking off the 8th annual Junior Giants Stretch Drive, but it's really special for me because this is my annual date with Willie McCovey. We like to have this time together. It's fun, and we talk about a really important cause. And Willie, that's raising money for the Junior Giants. And maybe you could just share again, because it never gets old, hearing why you lent your name to this cause and why it's important to you.
Well, it's because I think I identify mostly with these kids, especially the ones from the inner city. I grew up in Mobile, Alabama, and I didn't have fields to play on, so the Giants raised money for fields for these kids to play on. I had to make my own gloves, so it's nice that we donate gloves to them. So I just feel close to this particular charity.
This year, Matt Duffy is joining the cause with you, and for $50, if you wouldn't mind showing folks what they can get, it's the Matt Duffy bobblehead. Look at Willie McCovey's like a great hand model too, you guys. You didn't know he could do this. And Matt Duffy, of course, last year's Willie Mack Award winner. And then why don't you tell them for $440, this is really special. What do they get, Willie?
Yeah. Well, I don't have the prices. I think you do, but I know that I'm not sure how much it costs to get them, really, to tell you the truth. I just sign them and I show up.
So for $440, 44, which is, you know, your number, you get a signed ball from Willie and from Matt Duffy, and you can get all the information at jrgiants.org. And Willie, maybe you could just tell the fans what you think. You saw the power of the people in getting Brandon Belt to the All-Star game. What could the power of the people do for the stretch drive if they all come together on this cause?
Yeah, that was nice that the fans would vote him in like that. And, you know, I was watching TV, and I think we did the least amount of campaigning for him. All those other guys, they had campaigns going like they was politicians. So I'm glad he was voted in.
Well, and you can see what the power of the people can do. Visit jrgiants.org for the annual stretch drive. Let's raise some funds, and let's get some kids out there to play baseball. John and Mike.
Thanks to Amy Gutierrez with the man himself, the Hall of Famer Willie McCovey, known as Stretch. Well, Gene Segura got hit by the pitch, so he's now at first base with Corbin moving over to second.
A two-seam fastball going right above the elbow at the base of the tricep, and that is the button. That is a very sensitive area, and that stays with you for a while.
So 2 men on. Here is Michael Bourne, and Samardzija right back in trouble here after getting the first hitter of the inning, Ahmed, on an outstanding play by both Brandon Crawford and Brandon Belt. Bourne, although he struck out his first time, has had a lot of success over the years against Samardzija. Well, that's off the outside.
One thing is really good with the Giants coming into tonight's ballgame is they have a fully rested bullpen. Their bullpen's 2 days of rest, so they're good to go. And I just don't think anybody has to feel like they have to eat up innings if you're in the starting rotation here, because your bullpen's rested. Just go as long as you can, as hard as you can.
3-0 with Michael Goldschmidt on Paul Goldschmidt on deck. Michael Bourne at the plate. So this is on the verge of getting real serious. And the D-backs will have visions of a big inning. Already leading 2-0. Now 3-1.
This is when it's great to be Michael Bourne. When you have Paul Goldschmidt on deck, you're going to get some strikes.
And that is out of play, off to the left. Full count, 3-2.
Just a pure situation where the guy on deck's getting that guy in the batter's box a lot of good pitches to hit.
And there's the guy on deck, Paul Goldschmidt, one of the premier hitters in the league.
Who's hot.
3-2 the count. Green to second. Crawford will hold on to it and then look over at third just in case Corbin went around the bag. He did not. So they get the man in the middle, Segura. That was a nice play by Grant Green.
But I like the instinct too of Crawford. He knows Michael Bourne's not going to be easy to double up. He looks and then very quickly with an arm fake turns around and looks to third to see if maybe, just maybe, the pitcher Patrick Corbin would be leaking off the bag. But Matt Williams, the third base coach for the D-backs, he had Corbin anchored down.
Corbin never even started to take a step around third base. He just planted himself on the bag.
Now you've got a base to play with.
He's not done well, although he got a hit his first time up tonight, but only 3 for 19 lifetime against Samardzija. He singled and scored a run in the first inning. Two 2-0. The left-handed hitting slugger Jake Lamb is on deck. So this has turned into another high-stress inning for Samardzija. Every pitch pressure packed after the one-out single by Corbin. High and foul, and that will go out of play into the second deck just beneath us. 2-1. 48 pitches so far thrown by Samardzija in these first 2 innings. He got 2 down and 2 on. Corbin at third and Bourne at first. Goldschmidt hitting .296 for the year, and he was off to a very slow start when the Giants went into Arizona back in May. It was remarkable just how cold he was. I don't think the Giants had ever seen him struggle as badly as he was struggling at that time. Well, just as we knew it would, it has turned around big time since then. Strike 2 call.
Off-speed pitch. Take a look at the spin on this ball. That's just a hanging slider right there. That's a backup slider that just was a submit mixer. You can see there wasn't a lot of breaking. It winds up being a pretty good changeup. But that was meant to be a slider with break.
Struck him out with the 94-mile-an-hour fastball with lots of movement. They do not score. Buster Posey coming up.
Brought to you by AAA. Get a free road trip day pack with a AAA insurance quote. Go to AAA.com/road trip or a AAA branch for details. Restrictions apply.
Well, the Giants Insider Podcast is live on csnbayarea.com. You can log on each week as insider Alex Pavlovich will talk baseball with players, coaches, and special guests. And it's also available on iTunes.
Alex Pavlovich. And you really should check it out because he's got all the inside info. And he covers the Giants inside and out. There's ball 1 to Buster Posey from Patrick Corbin. We start the last of the second inning. Buster, .289 average, now 11 homers and a .362 on base average. Ball 2. Way inside.
Well, that was a purpose pitch. Right now, it's our time for our Togo's Big Play, the Togo's Way. And Wednesday, Buster Posey hit a home run off Jorge De La Rosa in the 6th inning, 11th of the season, second career off De La Rosa. And the Diamondbacks just took a shot at Buster Posey in the 1-0 count and missed.
Oh. Now, a warning has been issued. He threw behind him.
You know what? You should know what's going on with the first pitch.
I think, and that's what Boch wants to know. Well, why don't we issue a warning after that first one? When you throw behind him, there's umpires in this year who've ejected guys. Oh, well, Bochy just got ejected. So he's the one who gets ejected.
And the whole argument is, why didn't you do it the pitch before? Brian Gorman, the crew chief over there, giving Quinn Wolcott a little help. He's posting up with Bruce Bochy. So the warning has now been issued. Anybody else gets hit, and then that pitcher and the manager will be tossed out of the game. This is the one that just missed him in the 1-0 pitch. And then they come back in and they hits him. Well, he didn't. It didn't hit him. That was the one that was behind him.
And that's a walk.
So if you're looking for something to wake up a bench, I mean, that'll do it.
So Buster gets a walk. As just prior, Bruce Bochy was given the thumb by Quinn Wolcott. Brandon Crawford will come up.
You know, that's how baseball has handled it for decades. In the Diamondbacks' mind, the 1-0 pitch, when Segura got hit, they are thinking it's intentional. Whether it was or not, they don't care. In their mind, that was something that needed to be addressed, and they addressed it with Posey up, first guy up.
In other words, Segura hit a home run his first time. The next time he got drilled.
So in their mind, it was a purpose pitch. But I mean, from the Giants' perspective, 2 times Corbin threw at Posey. Now, fortunately, he didn't hit him. The warning has been issued.
Well, on the first pitch, and he did jump back out of the way of it. The second one went behind him, and guys will take serious exception when the ball goes behind him. That's where guys generally, when the ball's coming in on you, the reaction is to back away from it. In that case, back right into it. Hit deep, and that's the response. Tied up. A 2-run homer for Brandon Crawford. right after the incident with Buster Posey.
And that swing of the bat spoke volumes. And you can see there's not a lot of smiles there. A mistake up at the belt, and in a 2-strike count, he hits it, and he walks out after it.
Pitching coach Mike Butcher out to the mound to talk with Corbin. Pretty big mistake with a 2-strike count. The ground rule here, if the ball hits any part of the green tin roof above the Levi's Landing outcropping there above the Willie Mays wall in right field, that's a home run. So even though the fan reached out for it, it was atop that green tin roof, and that's a home run. There you see it.
Now, it's just a little pep talk right there, and I'm sure Mike Butcher went out there and says, hey, listen, you did everything right. Be aggressive. Game starts now. Nothing. Let's get him from here. As you see where that ball hit on the roof.
Mac Williamson now, and it's ball one. The last time Williamson saw Patrick Corbin, he left a dent in the scoreboard in center field at Chase Field.
But I mean, you lose credibility as a pitcher if you try and throw at a guy twice and you miss him, and then you walk him, then you give up a home run that ties the game. I mean, from his own teammates, you know, they're kind of raising an eyebrow. And I think that had everything to do with Mike Butcher going out there trying to bring him back, because you start thinking about those things if you're a pitcher. How's it look to my teammates?
2-1 the count. And back out of play. Had a big rip at that one. 2-2. The long ball has hurt Corbin this year again and again. That is the 18th home run he has allowed in 102 innings plus. Three and 2. Williamson has hit 3 home runs in 62 at bats in the big leagues so far this year. .226 batting average. High in the air along the right field line, Tomas, and just as he stepped into foul ground, out number 1. The wind will generally, the prevailing winds here will push a ball like that along the line back toward the field of play. Wind, according to the flags above the scoreboard, blowing straight out towards center. Out in right center field, the flags there indicate the wind blowing out toward McCovey Cove. As Grant Green comes up. Green in 6 games up in the minor leagues, hitting .320 for the Giants. And that's a foul. 2-2 here in the second inning. Having a wild start down there at Dodger Stadium, the Padres and the Dodgers. Lamb to get the second out. Green is retired, and now Ruben Tejada will come up. The Dodgers had 2 home runs in the first inning against Andrew Kastner, and took a 4-1 lead into the second inning for Scott Kazmir. Now Melvin Upton Jr. hit a 2-run homer for the Padres, and it's 4-3. The Pods still batting in the second, as you see it posted on the hand-operated scoreboard here at AT&T Park. Ruben Tejada. 2 down, nobody on, 2 runs in. That ball is smoked to left field, but right to Drury. Giants get 2 runs. Brandon Crawford goes bye-bye, baby, as Russ Hodges used to say. 2-2 as we head to the third.
On CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
We are at AT&T Park, and the Giants and D-backs in a 2-2 tie as we start the third inning. Cleanup man Jake Lamb takes one right down the Embarcadero for his strike one called. As Samardzija goes back to work here. Samardzija, who threw 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. And that second inning is kind of remarkable the way it turned around. The D-backs are ahead 2-0. They had 2 men on, 1 man out, some big hitters coming up, and Samardzija wriggled off the hook, and then the Giants, after Buster Posey was thrown out a couple of times, or he certainly thought so. Everybody in the ballpark certainly thought so, including the plate umpire, who issued a warning after the second one. And then Buster walked, and then Crawford followed up with a home run. And this game's tied up. It was all pretty heavily weighted in the Arizona half of the score sheet until then. High and foul off the third base side. And the wind carried it back. Tejada, 1 away. Lamb retired. Big bat retired there. Well, the Reds will be in town after the All-Star break. Monday, July 25th. Giants will be coming home from Yankee Stadium. They'll be here for 3. The Reds Monday 7:15, Tuesday the 26th 7:15, and on the 27th Wednesday, day baseball in the city at 12:45. The Giants, Joey Votto, and the Reds, and the former Giant Adam Duvall, who's an All-Star this year. Tickets available at sfgiants.com/tickets. Ron Wotus, who is the bench coach and now the acting manager after Bruce Bochy was ejected. Right to third. Tejada, the long throw. Right there. Castillo is out number 2. He's 0 for 2 in the game now.
You know, another thing too about Bruce Bochy, when he gets ejected from a game, I mean, he lets Wotus manage. I mean, he'll go back to his office, watch the game, or be in the clubhouse. It's not like he's lurking in the runway, making decisions. He lets Ron Wotus run it.
Ron Wotus, longtime bench coach for the Giants, and before that, before he became a major league coach, he was a longtime manager of the Giants AAA affiliate. In those days, I think the team was still in Phoenix.
You know what Wotus means?
What?
Resident of the United States.
If he had a Secret Service detail, Wotus is in the building now. Wotus is the acting manager. The president of the United States is known as POTUS by the Secret Service, as we understand, according to the novels, the action novels I read.
Yeah, I read the same ones.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. We kind of rotate those novels around the broadcast booths as the season goes along.
We all enjoy the same story.
Tomas singled home a run his first time. 2 down, nobody on. Along the right field line toward the corner. Williamson has room, and now the wind apparently pushing it away from him toward the line. 3 up, 3 down. That's a quick inning. 8 pitches and out for Samardzija, and he's coming up. On this date in Giants history, and it was quite a day for the Giants. Back in 1970, Jim Ray Hart hit for the cycle, the first cycle by a San Francisco Giant, and he did it in the first 5 innings of the game in Atlanta, started by future Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. That's a fair ball by Jeff Samardzija. The former All-American receiver eases into second with a stand-up double. Samardzija, who has 7 RBIs this year, that's his 3rd double.
Little fastball down and in, and Samardzija just drops the head on it, rakes it right past Lamb down the third base line. Nothing Lamb could do. He was playing off of the bag. And with Samardzija's speed, let's take a look at the former first-team All-American wide receiver. And right here, he breaks it down with style points.
For the 5 touchdown.
Well, he was good.
Bernard Span. And that's ball 1. Just to finish the thought on the late Jim Ray Hart, who just very sadly recently passed away. He finished the cycle when he hit a 3-run homer against Phil Niekro in the 5th inning, and then in the same inning a triple. He was lacking the triple, and he got a second at bat in the same inning and had a 3-run triple after his 3-run homer. That's a pretty good inning.
Well, one thing we learned about Jim Ray Hart, he could hit a knuckleball. There aren't many guys that can make that claim.
Phil Niekro's nickname as a big leaguer, Nuxie.
Nuxie.
That is Samardzija at second, nobody out. 1-1 the count to Span. Just back, he'd been out several games with a neck problem. And that's strike 2.
Strikeout situation now for Corbin.
Span's job is to, at the very least, get Samardzija over to third base.
You know, and you can really manage as if it's a regular player out there at second base from Bruce Bochy's perspective. You have a guy out there at second base who has good speed.
Last of the 3rd, 2-2 the score.
So a point you make about you've got to put the ball in play and get that runner over. That's right on.
Got the slider and sliced it foul into the crowd. Dwayne Kuiper is on assignment this weekend. Dave Fleming over on the radio side currently will be joining Mike in the middle innings here on CSN Bay Area. One and 2 the count to Bernard Span. Too low.
Good pitch, good take.
D-backs got 2 runs in the first inning. A home run by Segura on the first pitch of the game. And later a 2-out RBI single by Tomas. But the Giants tied it in the second on the 2-run homer by Brandon Crawford. He was able to pull that one, but foul. So 2-2.
Ball dude. Jim Vermes making a play down that way, Jim.
He's excited. Got the adrenaline going.
Chris Young, our ball dude, the third base side, applauding his counterpart.
Ball dude camaraderie.
Hey, it's deep.
2-2 the count to Span with Pagan on deck. Possible go-ahead run at second in the person of Jeff Samardzija. Off the inside. I like Castillo's effort there. He grabbed it after it almost hit Span and then brought it back about a foot to the plate and just said, right here, see where I just caught it right here.
You never know.
3-2. Just got a piece of that one.
This is a good battle right here. I mean, Corbin is shaving that strike zone. He's staying with that That idea that he has to get this out by way of the strikeout, or at least at the very least be a non-productive out. And he's just not throwing anything in the fat part of the plate. He's staying on the corners, even in the 3-2 count.
2-2 the score here. And again, Corbin to Span. And that'll get Samardzija over. Segura, and he just gets Span at first base.
It's good baseball right there.
There's Dave Fleming. And he'll be over here. And he'll have, I promise you, that tie will be cinched up. And he will really be looking good.
Double Windsor. He's got that thing down.
Now with Pagan, the D-backs going to bring the infield in a 2-2 game. See, Pagan in spots like this in his last 11 games has hit .500. You put a runner at second or third or both, what we call scoring position, and he's been knocking in a lot of them.
Best start for the D-backs is in right field with Tomas. It's a good one.
Ball one, up and in. The middle infielders are not all the way in. They're a few steps away from being all the way in at the grass. So you see how they play it. Ahmed, the shortstop, and Segura, the second baseman. The outfielders, the center fielder in particular, Bourne, is backed up. It hit Corbin. And he throws out Pagan. Wow. That was headed for center field in an RBI single, but Corbin's body got in the way of it, and they're going to come out and make sure he's okay. That ball was really smoked.
That was a nice at bat. Right back up the middle. Just unfortunate luck there for Angel Pagan. So the D-backs going to come out. And that hit meat right there. That just above the knee of the right leg. It looks like it caught him. Maybe even off the right knee. A direct hit though, and that's what he'll definitely feel later on tonight, tomorrow morning.
Well, we're glad that he seems to be okay, at least for now. Head trainer Ken Crenshaw, manager Chip Hale, both went out. 2 down. Samardzija still at third. Here's Bell. And the curveball low and outside, ball one. Still 4-3 LA leading the Padres meanwhile after 2 innings at Dodger Stadium. Cubs were beaten by the Pirates 8-4. Pirates came from behind in the 7th inning against Jake Arrieta and then the Cubs bullpen to win that game. 2-0. Buster Posey on deck.
And that's why this should be a pretty good pitch to hit. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a fastball challenge right out there over the middle, but it should be in the strike zone with whatever he's going to throw. And these are the counts right here that you really get an idea as to what the pitcher's most confident specialty pitch is. If he doesn't throw the fastball, he'll tell you what his #1 specialty pitch is right now.
And Belt, and that fastball off the left field line and well back out of play.
And that was the fastball challenge. In a get it in situation, you know the Corbin wants to end this inning here facing the left-handed hitting Belt. He does not want to see Posey come up. That's his motivation.
Off the outside. Belt laid off, 3-1. 2-2 the score. Samardzija led off this inning with a double, and then Span got him to third on an infield out. They've got the overload against Belt. 3 infielders stacked on the right side. Only Lamb remains on the left side. Just off the outside. The catcher, Castillo, was not so sure. He thought it was a strike, apparently. But it's a walk for Belt. First and third, and Posey.
You know, you talk about a little extra spice on any at bat for Posey. In his first at bat, Patrick Corbin threw at him twice, missed him twice. But it's not like something you're going to forget, especially the second one went behind him. So he's going to take that bat into this at bat.
Posey hitting .313 lifetime and 32 career at bats against Corbin. And a foul down the right field side. First pitch of the game to Gene Segura, and he launched it. 1-0. Then with a score 2-0. Segura in the second inning got a hit by a pitch. And ball one way inside to Buster, and then behind Buster. That's when a warning was issued. Bruce Bochy came out, and he promptly was ejected from the game by Quinn Walcott, the plate umpire. Buster ended up walking, and then the next hitter, Crawford, homered to tie the game. Now Buster batting with 2 on and 2 out here in the last of the third.
Well, and it really, I mean, you kind of wake up a sleeping dog. You make a great hitter, an even better hitter when you tick him off.
Bell easily back to the back. Kind of a lob throw there by Corbin. And you see Buster's career numbers against Corbin. He's never hit a home run against him. You could say his numbers against Corbin are, for Buster Posey, about average. It's not far off his career batting average. High and foul, very much foul off the right field line. Back into the second deck, down toward the corner. Still 1-2. So Corbin, who had a very quick first inning, 10-pitch inning. And he is approaching 50 pitches thrown in these first 3 innings now. This will be number 48. Samardzija at third, Belt at first. And hooked foul off to the left.
Way out front of that off-speed pitch.
One hit off the facing of the second deck and ricochet downstairs.
Hey, look who got it. Whoa, wait a second.
Wait, they may have to issue a warning on that one. That looked intentional to me, Mike.
Well, they've been spending the whole year teaching him how to do that, so just doing what he's taught.
He wanted to play catch. He stepped off the slab and made that lob throw. Belt scurried back. Billy Hayes over to speak to him. Yeah, son, I gave you that bat. I don't think they're going to give it back.
I'm going to let Dad handle this for a while, all right? Play with it when we get back home.
1-2 the count. Down the third base side. Lamb's long throw is high and wide. So Samardzija has scored, and Belt goes to third, and the Giants have a 3-2 lead. That's a long throw by Lamb, and I think maybe with Buster running, he had a little more time than he thought that he did.
And that may have affected the play because he had so much time. Just got underneath it, goosed it, and there was nothing Goldschmidt could do about that. And really, the Diamondbacks catch a break. This ball hits the protective fence and stops. It's an easy go-get for Goldschmidt. That thing goes down the right field line. There's a possibility that Brandon Belt could have scored.
And Belt, as it is, ends up at third base, so he got 2 bases on the wild throw. And Samardzija ends up scoring a gift run for the Giants. It's 3-2. Plus the inning is still going on, and the Giants' RBI leader, Brandon, not an all-star, Crawford, coming up. He now has 57 RBIs for the year. Number 1 on the club. Pitching coach Butcher was out briefly for a chat with Corbin.
And the curve misses off the inside. Well off the inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Crawford has been such a reliable RBI man for the Giants this year. And in spots like this is where he's been at his very best, hitting .345 with runners in scoring position. Not there.
This is the big swing of the bat in the second inning after Posey had been thrown at twice and walked in a 2-0 ball game. In a 2-strike, 2-out situation, Brandon Belt with 1 swing of the bat ties the game. Home run number 9. It's Brandon Crawford, the big emotional swing of the bat.
Nice save there by Castillo, the catcher.
RBI leader since May 1st in the National League. Adam Duvall on top of the pile with 55. Brandon Crawford with 51. Jake Lamb, Chris Bryant, Nolan Arenado.
Crawford, the only shortstop on that short list. Base hit. Another RBI. Brandon Crawford knocks in Brandon Belt, and Posey goes to third. The throw-in cut off by Ahmed. 3 RBIs in the first 3 innings of this game for Brandon Crawford. 4-2 Giants. He just exploited that open hole with Goldschmidt playing on the bag with Buster Posey. And he had no chance to get to that one.
Take a look at the right side with Goldschmidt holding the runner off. His range to the right is minimized. Posey with a 2-out jump, an easy take at third despite the good arm of Tomas. A nice 2-out at bat from Crawford.
So here is Mac Williamson, who fouled out to the right fielder his first time. Just a little bit low on the outside. Like a change up.
And look at the pitch count. 10 in the first, 17 in the second, 27 so far here in the third.
Mac Williamson, who hit the mammoth home run against Corbin last weekend in Arizona. Called a strike on the outside. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 2 runs in. Both will be scored as unearned runs due to the throwing error by Jake Lamb with 2 down. Extended the inning. One and 2.
Well, here's that home run you're talking about. Down and in, and Williamson takes on center field and hits it off the scoreboard. I think they said it's only been done 3 times. First time we ever saw it, and boy, we were all impressed. This guy's got lots and lots of power.
111 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah, 111 miles an hour. That's to center field. That's not your pull side. We saw him hit an out in the same game to left field. It was 117 miles an hour.
He had a line drive right to the left fielder at 117 in Arizona. 2-2 the count. Posey at third, Crawford at first. 4-2 Giants. This is Ahmed in the dirt and scooped out with the backhand grab by the Gold Glover, Goldschmidt. But the Giants are ahead 4-2. Samardzija back to the mound. Dave Fleming over on the radio side.
Top of the fourth inning, it's 4-2 Giants. And joining us now, Dave Fleming. Welcome.
A lot going on in this game, huh?
It has not been boring, no.
Not boring at all. And the Giants got a little bit of a wake-up call, and I think it got the blood flowing, don't you?
Oh, no doubt. It's amazing how the momentum was in the Diamondbacks dugout. Then all of a sudden, a couple of missed fastballs that were thrown at Buster Posey, and the momentum jumped over to the Giants side. And to Samardzij's credit, a nice shutdown inning at the top of the third, and now he has a chance to do it again here.
Yeah, let's see if he can keep it going. He's throwing quality pitches like that. He gets a called strike to Brandon Drury. So the whole feel of the game has swung in favor of the Giants. That one popped way up and back out of play. I mean, I'm sure you and John talked about it a ton already, but it's a really impressive moment. Okay, they go after your teammate. He's at first base. How do you get payback? Hit one over the wall. I mean,
that is a manly swing of the bat. There's no question.
0-2.
And it's kind of the dream swing of the bat. And he did it in a 2-strike, 2-out situation. Brandon Crawford just says, hey, I'll pick everybody up here. And once that ball went over the wall, the momentum just dove into the Giants dugout.
That one comes inside. We've seen a couple pitches in. A big question once the teams have been warned. I mean, if somebody gets hit, well, with a young umpire,
I think it's going to have to. If you get hit with a breaking ball or something like that, you're not going to get tossed. I would hope not.
I hope not.
But it does make it weird. You cannot pitch as aggressively on the inside part of the plate with a warning as you can without the warning.
Well, it just didn't feel like, I mean, Bruce Bochy, we don't know what he said, but he gets kicked out almost immediately coming out to argue that warning. It didn't feel like Quinn Wolcott just had a total handle on the whole thing. Right off his foot.
Well, I think Bochy wanted the warning after the first ball that was thrown inside and almost hit Posey. He didn't want Corbin to have another shot at him, which he came after him again in a 2-0 count through behind him. So at that point the warning was given, and Bochy was hot. He was out there protecting his cleanup hitter. So Ron Wotus now the acting manager.
2-2 right there toward the outside. Drury hanging in there. Well, I heard Joe Madden. Joe Madden got kicked out of a game a couple days ago. He had something pretty interesting to say about when the manager gets kicked out. He was asked, hey, do you relay any info? Do you give any signs, suggestions to the dugout after you've been kicked out of a game? And maybe he feels obligated to say this, but he essentially said, no way. Drury kind of slaps that one foul.
Oh, and we were talking about that in regard to Bochy because he lets Wotus manage.
Yeah. And that was what Joe Madden said. He goes, I was a bench coach for so long. Those few games where I got to do it, where my manager got kicked out, I felt like that was my practice. That was my chance to do it. And I think Bochy and Madden have the same idea there, where hey, let him take over. Another 2-2. This at bat going on for a while.
Hey, listen, we've seen managers do all kinds of things. A lot of guys will stay in the tunnel and they'll continue to manage, only not being seen. We've seen managers disguise themselves, put on a fake mustache, come back out on the bench.
One of them at least. Bobby Valentine did that. I don't know if he was trying to be funny or not. 3-2, jammed him. Tejada throws out Drury. Now this is kind of what we were talking about. Okay, he took one shot. It was clear to me he was trying to go after him. Then he goes behind him. Then the warnings come. Bochy gets ejected arguing that. And the next hitter, Brandon Crawford, does that.
That's a manly swing of the bat.
Big time.
I mean, that's a player's dream to do that right there. But it is a great way to, kind of pick up your teammate. Now Buster didn't get hit. He got thrown at twice, but still manly swing.
So here's Ahmed, the shortstop, a slider for a called strike.
We're seeing a lot of off-speed stuff tonight too from Samardzija. I think this is fantastic. Posey is really mixing it up. He's throwing more sliders, more change-ups, and it really is getting this Diamondback team off the fastball. Now you don't have to be fine. Once you establish that you can get the breaking or the off-speed stuff over, they can't just sit on a fastball.
Well, I thought there was an instance maybe in the second inning where he tried to change up, and it wasn't a well-thrown one at all. It missed way out of the zone, and Posey called for it right away again. Well, there's another slider, close, but called a ball.
Well, I think it's important, especially with curveballs, sliders, changeups. You throw one, it doesn't feel good. Call it again. Let the guy make the adjustment on the very next pitch, and more often than not, a big league pitcher will get it in the strike zone.
The 1-2. Another foul ball.
One of the best parts about Posey being a catcher is that he used to be a pitcher, and he remembers those things.
Well, he was closing games in the College World Series. He did everything at that level. Obviously, he's not been a pitcher at this level, but I think your point is well taken. One-two. Uses that slider and strikes him out.
Well, NBC Bay Area investigates to hold the powerful accountable, and now it's expanding its resources to help solve your consumer problems. Introducing NBA Bay Area Responds, a new team dedicated to investigating your consumer complaints and returning your money. Contact 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/response. Every call, every email will be answered. NBC Bay Area, we investigate.
1-0 to the pitcher, Patrick Corbin, who has a hit. Of course, so does Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah, no pitcher has made an out in the game tonight.
Corbin's got 13 hits this year.
Well, the highest batting average of the National League amongst pitchers, well, that would be Patrick Corbin at 342. Jake Arrieta, Liriano, Martinez, Greinke, all good hitting pitchers. That's a minimum of 20 at-bats.
Giants pitchers try to hit the home run. They're not into the batting average thing.
Oh, you're right. They dig the long ball.
1-2. Samardzija's got a chance to make this back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. And he's going to do it. Little comebacker. Samardzija throws him out. Diamondbacks go down in order. So he's locked it in. He's going to hit when we come back. Giants lead 4-2.
annual All-Star Teacher Award Day. And you're looking at the winner, ding, 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 Scott Cranen. You teach at Castellero Middle School in San Jose. And tell us your teaching motto.
So be engaged, be grateful, be humble, but that we want to have free and equal access for all, because everyone can learn, everyone can be great. They just need to be given the opportunity so they can have that. And so on you, be engaged, be present, but from the community, equal access for all allows those students to have the opportunities to show their best selves.
One of my favorite things is that you teach orchestra. It's something that we don't see in a lot of schools these days. How much fun is that, and do you have to wear earplugs?
No earplugs are necessary, although hot cross buns is often recurring in my mind. The joy of doing anything you love is great. So it could be math and science. It just happens that my passion is orchestra. As a cellist, I love playing, and I get to share that love and joy with the students. And they might not become violinists, but they're going to become lifelong learners. They're going to become citizens. They're going to become part of communities. And so if they can get that joy of what it takes to be great and what it takes to give of yourself, then that gets carried through to everything else.
All right, well, he's very energetic. I like it, and he won $20 grand for his school. Dave and Mike, let's get it back up to you.
Yeah, the enthusiasm comes through. Amy, thanks. Good job, Scott. There are a lot of teachers like that out there. An award like that kind of recognizes everybody.
Such a cool program, and there were really no losers. Everybody were going to walk back with some money for their school.
Corbin gets the strikeout of Grant Green for out number 1 here in the last of the 4th.
First strikeout for Corbin. I mean, you think back and the people that had influence in your life, teachers, a lot of them.
Big time. And I think when all of us think back to our school years, what do you remember? I mean, you don't remember what the classroom looked like. You don't really even often remember the specific details of the stuff you learned, but those teachers, those memories are lasting.
I can't remember my combination in my locker room.
You can.
28-32 click. I don't even know where that came from, Dave. It's in there, bouncing around.
What else is in there?
That's scary.
That ball is fair. Pasadiva Lamb, and Tejada's got himself a hit. It's going to be extra bases. Ruben Tejada has hit the ball hard twice. Now he's got something to show for it.
Well, you know, he's been having really good at bats. You can definitely see the confidence factor is on the rise with this guy with the bat in his hands. Takes an inside fastball, hits it right down the line, and for Lamb, who was off the bag, cannot get back to his backhand. And with Tejada, who's got good speed, an easy double, so he sets it up now for Samardzija.
I agree with you. You watch the first couple games of Tejada in Oakland, it did not look good. Since then, the at-bats have been really good.
Yeah, he was definitely hit the comfort zone. He feels at home, and it shows on the field.
Samardzija hits one hard. Ahmed was kind of leaning the other way, so he did a nice job of getting over to his left. He throws out Samardzija. Now Span will take a crack to try to knock in Tejada. Span's had 2 long at-bats against Corbin, but has hit the ball on the ground into 2 outs. And combined, he's seen probably 15 pitches. So he should have a pretty good idea of the stuff of Corbin. Outside, ball 1. Okay, what was the exact number? First 2 at bats, 15.
15.
Every once in a while.
I'm impressed.
No locker combinations for me, but I got that one. Slider, and that's a generous call.
Well, you just pry it out of me, you know. I mean, you have a way.
Wait till we get on the airplane next.
Little slider right on the outside corner, framed nicely. Keep throwing that ball away to Bernard Span. He'll take it to left field.
There's a lot of room on that left side if he does. Hits that one on the left side, but not real hard. Lamb charged it, throws out Span. Congratulations to Scott Cranen, all-star teacher, for his good work. And for all you teachers out there, we salute you. 4-2 Giants.
Next is Tokidoki Night right here at AT&T Park. Your special event ticket will include a Tokidoki Sergio Romo figurine and a ticket to see the Giants take on the Reds. Go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Now, see, that's a good one for television, because when we do that promo over on the radio side, it's hard to describe what that thing's hard to describe.
The Tokidoki?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't describe it.
Now, Buster Posey, he got a little mixed up there, I think. That one caught him, and maybe on that thumb, that hot spot. 0-1 the count. It was called a strike, but he's hurting. Ouch.
Let's see where it gets him. Yeah. Right off the knuckle of the thumb.
It was a strike. Gene Segura's kind of been in the middle of it all tonight. Segura hit a home run on the first pitch of the game, and then got hit by a pitch from Samardzija. That set off the next inning. The warnings, the ejection, the home run, all of it. That one's right there. Strike two. Well, one thing, since hitting Segura, Samardzija's retired 8 in a row. Now what is Segura? Segura's confused. Wolcott. And Buster's thinking, are you talking to me?
Well, no, Buster's saying he's talking to me. He's not talking to you. He's saying he's seeing how my thumb is. You get a little sensitive when you get hit with 94.
Yeah.
Especially on that little button above the elbow, just the base of the tricep. That one hurts.
1-2, good pitch. Samardzija gets Segura.
Well, you know what happens when you get into a situation where people are throwing at other teams, and it gets your adrenaline spikes. And if there's anybody on this Giants team that knows how to handle spiked adrenaline, it's the guy on the hill, because he dealt with Saturday afternoon in the fall football, and it's all about adrenaline. So he knows how to use it to his advantage.
Ground ball, nice stab by Tejada. Spins around and throws out the speedy Bourne. What a good play by Ruben Tejada. We've seen Tejada a lot over the years in the National League. I never knew what a good arm he had. He's got a strong arm.
He's got a cannon. You can put that anywhere on the left side of the infield from any angle, and he can make the throw.
And maybe at one point we did sort of make note of that, but I'd forgotten what a good arm he has. So 2 down. Goldschmidt takes one right in there.
Playing well into the grass to take away the bunt. You don't get a lot of range. And even with the stunted defensive set, he had to hurry the throw to first base because of the speed of Bourne.
And that did make that play more impressive, where you saw how far in on the grass he was playing. That takes away your reaction time.
Just kind of lean, no time for even a step. Get up 360s and then unleash the beast. And let your arm do the talking.
0-2. Goldschmidt singled and started another Diamondbacks rally. Scored their second run of that first inning. They haven't scored since. Popped up. Should be playable for Belt. The All-Star is under it. And that's a 9-pitch inning. Samardzija has retired 11 in a row. Pagan, Belt, Posey coming up. Giants lead by 2. Four to 2. Dave Fleming, Mike Krukow here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The big hitters coming up for the Giants, including that guy and maybe the guy on his left, Brandon Crawford. Giants have a 4-2 lead. They were down 2-0 in this game. Pagan, who's 0 for 2, although he got robbed his last time up. He's got the look. He is a little bit feisty right now, I think. Hit one hard back up the middle. It hit the knee of Corbin. Otherwise, it would have knocked in a run.
Yeah, that was a great at bat.
One ball, one strike. Fastball at 89.
For as hard as Corbin got hit in the right knee with that line drive off the bat of Pagan, I mean, he really hasn't shown any ill effects. Has not affected his movement, his plant.
1-2. Just inside.
Trying to cut that fastball in that inside corner. He's staying on that side of the plate. That is a big pitch for Corbin. I mean, he could get in there. I mean, that's one of the things he does well. Very similar to the pitching philosophy of Madison Bumgarner.
2-2 to Pagan, who stays alive. Pretty good slider.
Hey, she's all dressed up.
It is a little windy. Good thing that bow is in there. That one inside, that same kind of pitch you're describing.
Yeah, you know, it's not the pitch where you're saying to yourself, I want to throw it at the knees. From Corbin's perspective, just like Bumgarner, they want to take that cut fastball and they want to throw it right at the belt of the right-handed hitter. Just let that little natural movement. It's about a 3-inch, 4-inch slide that works its way flat in towards the belt. Let it work its magic. Get off the sweet spot. Go up the bat. Try and break the bat.
Pagan hits it on the ground to third. Lamb throws him out. One away. Our timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. It was on this date in 2006. Noah Lowry beat the Dodgers in LA, 4th win of the year. And he hit the first home run of his career. It was Derek Lowe on the mound. Pretty good swing from Noah Lowry.
He's a good athlete. Seen Noah a couple times in the ballpark this year. Comes back. I'm sure part of this Giants family. I mean, it's one of the cool things about being part of this organization.
I hope we see him some more. He was a really good Giant who pitched some awesome games as a young kid in pressure situations and then couldn't stay healthy.
You're right. His injuries cut his career short, but still finding ways to make an impact in the community representing the Giants. He does a nice job.
Strike 2 to Belt. Bounces. And Posey waiting to hit next. And he's staying in the game, which is good news. That hurt. That pitch, even with the mid on off his thumb area. 2-2.
Well, as hard as these guys throw, and if you get late movement, Jeff Samardzija is not an easy guy to catch, just because he's got late movement on high velocity with the two-seam fastball, with the cut.
3-2.
And if you get hit wrong, like Posey did, they cut him on the wrong part of his thumb, it can light your hand up for not just a few minutes, it can stay with you a week.
In some ways, that's the perfect example of why it's hard to be a really good offensive catcher. That one little pitch, that one moment. 3-2, foul ball. Well, Brandon Belt found out today he's going to the All-Star game. Those are the guys who have been first basemen since the Giants moved to San Francisco, have been on the All-Star team. Covey, Clark, Cepeda, Darrell Evans, and Brand. That's good company. That's ball 4. Belt takes another walk.
0-2 to a walk. That's a great at bat. Pitch count starting to become an issue here. I know you say 81 pitches, but 81 pitches with 1 out in the 5th. That's a lot of stress throws for Corbin. And I bring that up simply because you make a lot of throws out of the stretch with stress on them. Sooner or later, you hit the fatigue factor. When you miss up, and that's when you can get burned. 31 pitches in the 3rd inning.
Posey 0 for 1 with a walk. That 3rd inning where the Giants went ahead in this game. Now Posey rips a liner into left field. I guess the thumb's feeling okay.
So Posey jumps on the high mistake. This ball goes in right at the belt. And that's a high mistake. And really a topspin. Comes off the bat with topspin. I mean, if he backspins this one, who knows what could have happened. But he hit that ball in the button. That's an old catcher, Billy Hayes, talking to Buster Posey, and they're talking about stone bruises on your hand.
By the way, there's no prettier side swing in the game than that one.
That was a good one.
You could show that just over and over again. This guy's got a pretty nice looking side swing. Brandon Crawford, who has knocked in 3 of the 4 runs.
Well, it's pretty when you have balance. And your body's right between your legs, and you can see the backside throw through the front side. That's when it's beautiful. And the one thing about Brandon Crawford, I think he's the hardest guy on the Giants team to get off his back leg. I mean, for the most part, when he takes a swing, there's good balance behind it. That's what he's hit with runners in scoring position since May 1st, 411.
In the dirt. So this was the at bat after they tried to hit Posey and walked him.
That's a 2-strike, 2-out, 2-run shot. I mean, he hit it and he walked out of the box and it hit it wasn't a home run by a bunch.
It wasn't. I think he kind of wanted to make a statement after watching Corbin throw at his teammate.
Absolutely he did.
2-0. And he got the call there, a fastball.
He was not looking middle away with that fastball. He was looking middle in.
Well, finally, it's like they've gone away from the game plan against Crawford. They've thrown almost nothing but sliders, and he had 2 hits against him. That one off the outside.
Watch the 2-0 pitch. Watch his right hip. It clears, and that means he's looking for that ball in. So on a 2-0 count, you can look for a pitch, and you can look for a location, and he was looking fastball in. That hip will tell you what he's looking for. But that's what's the beautiful thing about having count leverage, is you can do that heading to count 1-0, 2-0, 3-1.
And if you don't get what you're looking for, just take it. He takes ball 4.
And that's a mistake. That is the last thing that Corbin wanted to do, is walk Brandon Belt over to third base with 1 out.
The bullpen just got started going, but I think that's going to be it for Patrick Corbin. Well, maybe not.
Jake Barrett, the right-hander. Hard thrower.
The sweatshirts were like camouflage. I thought that was Chip Hale. Chip's kept his off, so I guess that's the key.
The new look of the Diamondbacks this year, you will not see that same uniform tomorrow night. They'll change it every night they're here in San Francisco.
I'm like the only guy in America who actually kind of likes him. I sort of like him. They have taken a lot of heat. Trying something different. Well, Mac Williamson 0 for 2. You guys showed it earlier in the game. Hard not to remember the home run he hit against Corbin last week.
Well, I mean, right here, if you're Mac Williamson, you get ready to lock and load in the first pitch. If the base is loaded, I mean, Corbin's going to try and get a strike quick. Be ready for it.
Let it fly. Inside, ball 1.
Trying to work that cut fastball in on the hands. Nothing new. If you're 6'4" and you weigh 235 pounds like Mac Williamson, a lot of pitchers are going to try and pitch you in just because of your height.
Great chance here for the Giants to add. Ball 2. No team has been better with the bases loaded than the Giants. And a great shot here. With a 2-ball, no-strike count to a guy with a lot of power. Williamson tried to launch one.
Well, that's how you're supposed to swing.
Yes.
You got the kind of power. I mean, we see him hit balls at 117, 115 miles per hour. And that's just pure bat head strength. And that's what you want to see a guy do in a 2-0 count, bases loaded.
I think Bruce Bochy, watching in the clubhouse, would like to see him try that again on 2-1. He broke his bat, and it could be, well, they're going to go home and get the out there. And I guess Lamb decided it wasn't hit hard enough to try for the double play, so he took the force out at home. They cut down Belt, 2 down. I think that ends up being a pretty good decision by Jake Lamb.
Well, you're right, down 2 runs. I think that's a big run there.
Well, that is a missed opportunity. You get the bases loaded, 2-0.
And he got jammed. I mean, Corbin threw a fastball with a cut on and broke his bat.
They stayed in on Williamson the whole time. So now we'll see if Grant Green can come up with what would be a very big hit. Great chance for the Giants, but they haven't gotten a run across here in the 5th yet. Leading by 2. Ball 1 inside. He's pitched Green tough. Green is grounded out and struck out. And that still is the only strikeout for Patrick Corbin. Shot foul right past Roberto Kelly. He came in again. Joe Panik was doing some work on the field before the game today, so that's good news. But in the meantime, Grant Green and others, Ramiro Pena, done a pretty good job for the Giants, filling in.
Great job.
Castillo creeping in again. And that one did not go to the target. 2-1.
94 pitches. A lot of stretch time tonight for Corbin. He's pitching for his life right now.
Samardzio's had a long rest in the dugout. Huge moment in this game. A base hit, and the Giants get some real breathing room. Hit foul again. This is what we were referencing. Joe Panik on the concussion disabled list. And starting to ramp up the physical activity, which is kind of step 2 to get back and playing. So we'll see if we see him in San Diego right after the All-Star break.
Down there working out with Matt Duffy.
Matt Duffy, yeah, he's getting closer. Trying to backdoor him with the slider.
Good pitch. Good pitch. And some umpires, I mean, the inning's over right there. That did not miss by much. You get a guy so conscious of that inside corner with that cut fastball, you kind of give up on a breaking ball that's coming by way of the outside corner.
So now here we go. Bases loaded, 2 down and a full count. Nowhere to put him. Looks like they want to go back in. And he misses. Ball 4. Green draws the walk. It's 5-2 Giants.
That should be it for Corbin.
30th pitch of the inning. Walks in a run, and Chip Hale is not happy with Quinn Wolcott. He thought the inning should have been over the pitch prior. So Barrett's coming in. Giants have added on. They have a chance for more, leading 5-2, and it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. They lead 5-2, and the new pitcher is the right-hander Jake Barrett, inheriting the bases loaded.
36th time he's come in. He's had a good first half, 29 strikeouts in 31 innings. Tells you what type of stuff he's got. It's mid to high 90s with velocity. And a good hard slider, and he'll throw a split at you.
So Barrett, with the bases loaded, a walk, has knocked Corbin out of the game, has forced in a run. And by the way, while we were gone, Chip Hale, as he was walking back to the dugout, and Quinn Wolcott, you could tell him, don't do it. And Hale, that got him angry. Wolcott, who's already kicked Bochy out of the game, sent Chip Hale back to the clubhouse. It's been a memorable night for Quinn Wolcott.
Well, I think he's done a pretty good job. I would like to have seen issue a warning one pitch sooner than he did, but other than that, I think his balls and strikes have been pretty good.
Well, Ramiro Pena is going to hit for Tejada, so the Giants get the left-handed matchup against Barrett. And Ron Wotus, who's the acting Giants manager, that's a fastball for a called strike, is kind of going for it here. Tejada, who's had good at-bats in this game. But Pena's really swung the bat well when he's had a chance. You can understand the logic. A hit here, and the Giants really opened this game up. Foul ball, strike two. Samardzija waiting on deck. Corbin, the starter, responsible for the 3 runners that are out there for the Giants. Pena on a high fastball, fouls it straight back out of play. To me, Ramiro Pena, we're still getting to know this guy. He is a good fastball hitter, I think. Well,
I mean, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, he's been an eye-opener and a shot in the arm for this club. I mean, you lose your 3 guys in the infield, Kelby Tomlinson, Matt Duffy, Joe Panik. You need help. Well, he's filled it in and done a good job with the glove, with the bat.
He strikes out on the breaking ball in the dirt. So Barrett does the job, and the Giants get just the 1. On we go to inning number 6. Samardzija back to the mound with the Giants up by 3. Area is brought to you by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Submerge yourself at MontereyBayAquarium.org/love. Submerge. Summertime. Go down there. Visit.
It's very cool. And kids love it. Everybody loves it.
Well, Jeff Samardzija, who with the nickname might fit in, the Shark, on the mound. Gave up 2 in the first and had a hard time getting through that first inning, and had a little bit of trouble in the second. Since then has not allowed a base runner. The Giants have come from behind. They lead 5-2. Slider to Jake Lamb for ball 1. Pena, who hit for Tejada, stays in to play third base.
Just another off-speed pitch to open up the at-bat. This is the most off-speed pitches he's thrown since he's had a Giants uniform on.
That last one didn't do what he wanted.
Well, he really pulled the front shoulder out, and his arm never really got in position to throw. Had some push in the delivery.
Other than that, it was clean.
Yeah.
That is ball 3.
Another one he was underneath. Now you watch a pitcher now make the correction on the mound. Every pitch you throw, you evaluate, you adjust off it. It's perfect. You try and repeat it.
That one's there. 3-1. Zach Curtis. Maybe Barrett just got the one hitter. We'll see. That is ball 4. Close. Lamb draws a walk for the second time in the game.
You know, Samardzija not happy about that. You got a 3-run lead, you walk a leadoff hitter. You can see the look on his face. But now you get back in the stretch, and guess what? It's a different release. So now you've got to make your corrections. Try and get back in the strike zone. And oftentimes, if you throw another pitch, a slider, you give you a different release and can get you back to where you need to be.
That is a little bit high, and Posey's coming out. And all of these pitches do look different than when we last saw him on the mound.
Well, he went through this in his last outing in Arizona, and you know, to his credit, he was able to repair himself in the game and get back on track. He lost his rhythm. It lasted about 8 pitches, and then he regrouped and he took it all the way into the 8th inning.
Posey wants that ball down and away to Castillo, and it comes up and in.
Well, very quickly, Derek Law is heading down the Giants' pin.
Yeah, I think for all the reasons you're talking about. Some concern about Samardzija here as he starts the 6th. Giants lead by 3. That's a strike. Castillo did not think so.
Well, you know, it was definitely a pitcher strike. I mean, it was a pitch that didn't have to be called a strike. And when you're out there on the mound, you're looking for strikes. I mean, that definitely helped. Glenn Wilcox telling the Diamondbacks dugout, that's enough.
He's already ejected their manager.
Dugout entertainment.
2-1. Hit foul. 2-2. Right there, swung on and missed.
Another perfectly located off-speed pitch. Little slider on the outside corner. Almost looked more like a cutter, but it was tight and it was right there. As you see the eye of the slider, not a lot of break to it, just perfect location. So a nice comeback down in the count 2-0. He comes back and gets the strikeout, and he ends it on a perfect pitch.
That is a big first out. Yasmani Tomas, who's got a lot of power, knocked in a run with a base hit in his first at bat of the game. Tomas on the ground to short. Crawford Green. Belt. It's a double play. Well, I'd say he made the correction very nicely. 5-2 Giants.
Brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Kelly Moore Paints, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. By Xfinity, X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Fans, your support of the Stretch Drive at the $50 level provides the opportunity for one junior Giant to play ball for the entire summer. And as a thank you for your donation, you'll get this commemorative bobblehead of Matt Duffy. You've heard about the Junior Giants program for many years. It is a hit. It goes all the way through Northern California into Nevada and into Oregon. And kids learn confidence, teamwork, leadership, and all the great things you learn about playing a team sport. Go to jrgiants.org to see how you can help.
And meanwhile, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. Zach Curtis, the left-hander, in the game, and that is a little bit wild. His first offering to Jeff Samardzija, ball one. Well, Samardzija may have earned himself another inning on the mound with how he finished the top of this sixth.
Made some nice corrections, as you pointed out. Got out of that inning.
Pops that one up behind first base. Goldschmidt. One away. Let's go down to Amy G.
All right, gentlemen. Well, the Giants fans are well aware of the tragedies that occurred earlier this week and, of course, last night in Dallas. And before tonight's game, the Giants organization asked all the fans to come together for a moment of silence for the senseless deaths of 5 police officers during a peaceful demonstration that resulted in the culmination, guys, of a heartbreaking week in our country. Our thoughts are with all who have been affected by these traumatic events, guys.
In Dallas, in Minnesota, in Louisiana. Very much so. Denard Span takes a strike. A little broken bat flare, caught, 2 down.
You know, it's not that easy of a play when you're on the mound and the guy hits a changeup back at you. Off the crack of the bat, you see the arc of the ball, you're thinking line drive flame, right? And then the guy hits the ball back at you about 60 miles an hour. It's not an easy play.
So 2 down. Span is 0 for 4 coming back to the lineup. Here's Pagan.
Zach Curtis, 5'9", 190-pounder. Former 6th-round pick.
He just got called back up a couple days ago. He's the guy who, when he was first called up to the big leagues earlier this year, he was in the California League, Single A. Got called up from Single A to the major leagues. And they had that video, whether it was on Twitter or wherever it was, of the manager telling him. It was pretty cool. That ball is a little flare into shallow right field, and that's going to be a hit for Pagan. A 2-out single with Brandon Belt coming up. We'll take it. But for a guy, it's not like it was a rehab assignment or a guy hurt trying to play his way back being healthy. He was literally playing single-A ball, and he got the call. You're going up, not to Double-A, not even to Triple-A. You're going to Phoenix.
Well, I mean, he's just not the prototypical pitcher type. I mean, physically. But at 5'9", I mean, he's got real quick arm action, and it's a deceptive delivery. And this 90-mile-an-hour fastball seems like it's 95 just because of the way he throws it. And he's a strike thrower with 2 types of breaking ball. Andrew Chafin was the only lefty they had in their bullpen when the Giants saw the Diamondbacks in Arizona. He's now on the DL. So Curtis had to come up, and he assumes the role of the only lefty on this D-back team.
I don't want this to come across as a criticism at all. I don't have the number. I bet the Diamondbacks have had 5 times as many pitching coach visits on the mound this year as the Giants. I mean, Dave Righetti, you just don't see Dave Righetti feel the need to run back and forth over and over again. The Diamondbacks, every time it seems like a guy gets on base, here comes a pitching coach. Again, I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
Well, keep your pitching coach in shape, you know.
He's done a lot of jogging with that clock. I think Dave Righetti's in good enough shape. Belt takes ball 1. Belt's walked 2 times in a row. Those were against the starter Corbin, the All-Star.
Well, it's a handle that'll follow you the rest of your life.
Yep. Spoken from experience.
Make one All-Star team and you're an All-Star. It's like, well, but they call Willie Mays an All-Star too. He was on like 21 of them, maybe more.
You're in the club, Mike.
Just doesn't seem right.
You and Willie.
And Brandon Belt.
And Brandon Belt. They got the big shift on for Belt. That one comes inside. 2-0. Posey would be next. So Marge, by the way, he hit and then made that first out. No activity in the Giants bullpen, so he's going to be coming out for the 7th. 3-0.
Just a wee bit outside.
I don't think Curtis is going to face Posey. D-backs have a right-hander up in the pen. So if he walks Belt, I think the Diamondbacks would make the change. He does walk Belt, so we'll test that theory. Belt walks for the 3rd time tonight. It's not Chip Hale. Is that Sherlock, who's the acting manager?
Yeah.
So he's coming out to make not just a pitching change, but a double switch. Maybe Tomas, he made the final out.
So Glenn Sherlock explaining how he wants us to double switch with Glenn Wilcott.
Big scorecard Sherlock did, making those changes. Tuck that thing back away, and we'll describe the changes when we come back. New pitcher with Posey coming up. 5-2 Giants.
presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
5-2 Giants trying to add to that lead here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 on and 2 out. Posey coming up, and the new pitcher is a right-hander, Dominic Leone.
5th game that he's been in for Arizona. 4 hits, 8 hits, 4 innings, 8 hits allowed. What you're going to see when you take your bats against him is a low to mid-90s fastball, curveball, and a slider combination. Originally got to the big leagues with the Mariners in 2014.
Now he's in the National League with the Diamondbacks, and he's got to face one of the National League's best right here. Posey, who has a base hit and a walk, has scored 2 runs. Slider off the plate, ball 1. And it was a double switch. Ricky Weeks comes in the game. He goes to left. Drury moves from left to right. Tomas, who made the final out on the top of the 6th, is out of the game. Pagan, good speed at second. Belt at first. Ball 2.
Dominic Leone from Clemson University.
Tigers, rivals in the ACC, Buster Posey's alma mater. The two did not overlap. Fastball, strike 1 swinging.
Oh, he was trying to hit it into the glove in left center. 2-0 count, 2-seam fastball, and it had some height in it. It's one he'll want to see again. And from Leone's perspective, he just threw a fastball by Posey. He's thinking he could do it again.
Foul ball. Another fastball. It's 2-2. Giants have had a lot of chances, a lot of base runners in this game. 2-2 pitch. Posey fouls that fastball out of play. That was one to hit, I think.
The last 2 were. Good speed with Pagan at second.
And the outfield playing deep for the Diamondbacks. Anything to the outfield, and the Giants are going to score a run. Another 2-2. Fastball on the ground to short. Ahmed flips to second, and they get the out there. John's coming back over to join Mike here on the TV side. Samardzija stays in the game for the 7th. Giants have a 5-2 lead.
brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. And the D-backs 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. The Giants 5 runs on 6 hits. The Giants down 2-0 in the second inning, and Brandon Crawford steps up since a 2-run shot. That tied the score. The Giants would tack on 2. Crawford with 3 RBIs in this game. And Jeff Samardzija has been dealing. That's our Toyota game summary, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. It is 5-2 Giants, top of the 7th. Here again is John Miller.
All right, and Samardzija with Brandon Drury at the plate. The Giants bullpen will be ready if needed. And there's ball 1. Drury has struck out and grounded out. Law, the right-handed, number 64, and of course Javier Lopez, the left-hander. Samardzija is approaching 100 pitches for the evening. There's a high foul. The way it started out for him, 31 pitches in the first inning and 50 in the first 2 innings. Looked like he might have reached 100 pitches a lot earlier than this.
Well, you're right. I mean, he really righted his ship. And I think it had everything to do with the adrenaline coming into the game because of a couple of balls that were thrown at Buster Posey. And Jeff Samardzija handles adrenaline quite well, and he's proven it tonight. It's also the most off-speed stuff we've seen Samardzija throw all year. He has mixed in a slider and a changeup tonight, more changeups than we've ever seen him throw. And that can only enhance the fastball. This is what he has used tonight, 46% fastballs. And the rest of the time, mixing up sliders, cut fastballs, circle changeups.
And he struck him out. That's all for Drury, who struck out for the second time.
And that's big time movement on the 2-seam fastball. Look at this thing snap in and run right in, almost like a left-handed slider. And what set this up was the fact that he threw the changeup and the slider in this at bat. And he winds up using that fastball as a kill pitch. Nice pitch.
Six strikeouts for Samardzija. Here is Nick Ahmed, who has grounded to short. That was one of the outstanding defensive plays of the night, turned in by the combination of Crawford and Belt. That's a called strike at the knees.
Had the changeup. Last time the Diamondbacks saw Samardzija in Arizona, he was a different cat. He was a guy throwing a lot of hard stuff at you. Didn't really utilize a lot of off-speed stuff. Tonight, he's been a different pitcher.
Strike 2 called.
And the slider, perfect location.
Well, I asked Bruce Bochy before the game what would be the key for Samardzija against all these big sluggers, and he said, well, just to remember he didn't have to blow everybody away with power. So Samardzija is taking those words to heart. 0-2 the count. Just a little bit low.
Samardzija thought he had it. He was turning it around.
Also, if I'm Samardzija, I'm thinking, well, how did that guy not swing at that one with 2 strikes?
Yeah, it does cross your mind when you throw a pitch that close to the strike zone. The guy spits on it.
1-2 the count. Too low.
Here's the 0-2. It's a cutter. It's got slider rotation on it, but it's not breaking like a slider. He's used it as a cutter. And he thought he had strike 3.
2-2 the count. And now it's a full count. So from 0-2 to 3-2. Ricky Weeks is on deck. Meanwhile, down in LA, it is 9-6 Dodgers over the Padres. Padres have kept adding on runs of their own in that game to stay at least on the periphery of that one. And he walks him. So that's a pretty good trip to the plate for Ahmed, where the D-backs are in need of base runners. He had an 0-2 count and ends up getting a walk. Now Weeks. Ron Wotus is the acting manager. Bruce Bochy was ejected from the game in the last half of the second inning. Arizona manager Chip Hale got ejected from the game in the last half of the 5th inning, both by umpire Quinn Wolcott. You see Weeks' numbers And he's hit well for power, and he has for most of his career. He has 5 home runs. He's only batted 104 times, 104 official at bats. And that's too low. We got the top of the order coming up next. Segura on deck. Giants leading 5-2. 1:05 first pitch tomorrow. It will be televised once again here on CSN Bay Area. Jake Peavy versus Robbie Ray. That's a strike. And no local television here on Sunday. That's a 5:05 start. Radio only in the Giants KNBR radio network. As Madison Bumgarner will make his final start before the All-Star game up against Archie Bradley. 1-1 the count. That's through the middle, right past the margin. And breaking for third is Ahmed, and he'll make it there easily. And so the D-backs have a threat going here in the 7th inning. And Ron Wotus is going to the mound. And he's going to bring in the right-hander. So Derek Law is going to be brought in to face Segura. Samardzija, having gone 6 in the 3rd inning, he's thrown 110 pitches, departs, and gets a nice ovation from the crowd. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Into NBC Bay Area on Channel 11 over the air or Xfinity Cable 3 and 703. Check it out and tell a friend.
So here's Derek Law with runners at first and third, 1 out, and the dangerous Gene Segura at the plate. Segura, who has homered, been hit by a pitch, and hit a comebacker. Middle infield, double play depth, and he tries the breaking ball and misses high and tight with it.
The numbers for Derek Law through 31 games, 3-1 with a 2.97 ERA. He does have a save, 32 strikeouts in 30 innings against 5 walks. It tells you the kind of stuff that he has. He's got 4 weapons to strike you out. Mid-90s fastball, 2 types of breaking ball and a changeup.
Ricky Weeks dives back to the bag safely. Segura hit the very first pitch of the night for a long home run down the left field line, and then got drilled right near the left elbow in his next trip to the plate. That drops in there for a called strike.
Very quick out of the stretch. He's on load time right around the second. He's not really thinking too much about Segura. I mean, he's going to make him stop. That's just kind of his motion down the stretch. He can get rid of the ball very quickly.
little bit too high.
Ricky Weeks at first base, I beg your pardon.
2-1 to Segura with Bourne on deck. Bourne, a left-handed hitter, and the Giants have the left-hander Javier Lopez warming up in the bullpen. 5-2, the Giants ahead. Segura is hitting .318 for the year, and that is low. 3-1. Law, a rookie right-hander, has a 2.97 ERA, 30 and a third innings, 29 hits allowed. Does not walk many, 32 strikeouts, so a little better than 1 per inning, but only 5 walks allowed. That's a foul on a play off to the right, and it's a full count, 3-2. We'll keep an eye on Weeks at first. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. 1 out. And Ahmed over third. Nobody going anywhere. The ball is bounced foul. And Hunter Strickland, a right-hander, has run down to the Giants bullpen. He is going to start throwing now. There he is, number 60, alongside Javier Lopez. So tense moments here. The D-backs trying to mount a comeback. The Giants leading 5-2.
Well, this is their shot right here. They get the right people coming up. I like that last pitch though by Derek Law. It was not a 3-2 fastball. I threw a quality breaking ball. Segura did well to fight it off.
Again, 3-2 pitch. Hit high and foul down the right field line. Bell giving chase, but it is back in amongst the spectators. Out of play. So it goes on. Still 3-2. Law has thrown 7 pitches to Segura. Segura had been a great find for this Arizona team because his stock had really gone down in Milwaukee. He was not any longer putting up good numbers there, but he has had an outstanding first half with his new team here, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he's got the most 2 strike hits in the league, tied with the guy who replaced him in Milwaukee, Jonathan Villar. Time taken as Law steps off the slag. Ahmed, who walked at third. Weeks, who singled at first. 3-2 the count. He ain't got him to chase. Strike 3 called. Not called. Strike 3 swinging. Big time. And that was a really bad pitch.
It was, but the break on his breaking ball is a straight downer. It's a 12-6 break. And then when you get into the protect mode, if you're Segura, I mean, you're just seeing that thing, and you're thinking it's going to be in the strike zone. You commit to it, and all of a sudden you wind up with a fishing pole in your hand instead of a bat. So a nice battle won by Derek Law.
Buster Posey out, conferring with Law as the left-handed hitting Bourne comes up. And the Giants had the left-hander Javier Lopez out of the bullpen, but right now Ron Wotus, the acting manager, liking what he's seen from Derek Law, going to stick with him.
Plus he also knows who's on deck. It's Paul Goldschmidt, the right-handed hitter. If this inning were to get past Bourne, I think he feels that Law's his best bet to get Goldschmidt, so he's going to roll the dice and let a righty pitch to a lefty.
Bourne is 0 for 3 in this game. And that's ball 1.
But from Derek Law's perspective, he doesn't care righty or lefty. I mean, he's got weapons to strike anybody out.
33 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings while walking 5. And that counts. Strike 1 called. Bourne had asked for timeout, and the plate umpire refused to give it.
You learn it early, and it should be a lesson you never forget. If you ask for timeout, you stay in the box ready to hit until you get it. It was never given to him by Quinn Wolcott. And that just took away a 1-0 count where he got a fastball. He had count leverage. He got the fastball he was probably going to look for.
And now he swings and looks bad on that curveball. It bounced in the dirt.
Amazing. How a little mistake can really loom large in an at-bat.
One and two the count to Bourne. Ahmed at third, Weeks at first, 2 down. And that one hangs outside and high.
Yeah, he threw out that front shoulder. He just tried to overthrow it.
Overthrow because what, he wanted to be fabulous, to be the best curve he'd ever thrown?
Absolutely. You try to put a little extra on a curveball, and oftentimes it kills it. You throw it so hard you don't give it time to break, or like you just saw with his front shoulder, you fly out and you don't get a chance to snap that pitch off. You kind of push that pitch and you get rolling the break. Good thing there, it didn't go in the strike zone.
2 and 2 the count. And Weeks dives safely back to first. Jeff Samardzija staying in the dugout and feeling all the tension of the moment. Law reads the sign from Buster Posey. 2 and 2 the count with 2 down. To shortstop. Crawford to first. In time. He had a big target over there. The all-star Brandon Belt, whose foot got back in the bag just in time.
He needed all 6 foot 5 inches of it to make the play.
There was some in New York who were saying, hey, we should make this game in New York tonight. Whoever does better should get the All-Star game start. Syndergaard versus Strasburg. Syndergaard taken out after the 5th inning, and his arm was, he had arm fatigue. They said not related to his elbow, where he's got a bone spur. And Strasburg got the best of it as Crawford hits a foul off Leone down the left field line. Strike one. But Strasburg, before the game ever started, said he was not going to pitch in the All-Star game. So
why would he say that?
I'm not sure of all the details behind it. I know he's had some physical problems.
He's from San Diego. Come on.
From San Diego, a chance to pitch at home in the All-Star game as a starter, and he's 12-0 besides that. So so much for that idea.
He'd have 3 days rest. So, pitching on a Tuesday and then his 4th day.
Maybe that's not enough. Maybe the Nats just don't want him to pitch. As you see Sergio Romo getting loose in the Giants bullpen. Brandon Crawford has knocked in 3 of the Giants' 5 runs tonight. Little backdoor breaking ball for a called strike.
Good pitch.
Anyway, I'm still thinking that when you add it all up, the number 1 guy to make that start, all things considered, is Johnny Cueto.
And he wants to pitch.
Check swing on the ball in the dirt and an appeal. No, says Brian Gorman. That was not a swing. 2-2.
All right, from the side. Did he go? No.
Now that, to me, that's a check swing.
That's, nobody would call that a swing.
Bat starts going forward. Just call it a swing. Just the hands went forward. The handle went forward. And it's back to the backstop.
Little backdoor cutter there. He left that up. Pretty good pitch to defend during a 2-strike count.
Hey, just pitching at all in the All-Star game is a great honor. Just being named to the team is a great honor. But there is a little extra cachet if you end up being tabbed as the starting pitcher. You just get a piece of that one to stay alive. Here's the Geico quote. Johnny Cueto, if given the opportunity to start the All-Star game, it would be big, he said. It would mean a lot because it would be the first time that I would ever pitch in an All-Star game, and I want to pitch. The last time he made the All-Star team, he did not pitch. He was on the team, but never got in the game. High and foul, out of play off the third base side. Some other candidates. Jake Arrieta, 12-4, had a great year, won the Cy Young Award last year. Jose Fernandez, who got another win tonight for the Marlins. He beat the Reds. He's 11-4, and he got 154 strikeouts already this year.
That's a lot.
And what, about 114 innings as well. Incredible numbers. It's down and in, and it's 3-2.
Well, it is a compelling argument for all those guys. Terry Collins has a lot to think about.
Noah Syndergaard was the name also on that list. He was going for his 10th win tonight. He's 9-4, and nobody has better stuff than Syndergaard. Left center field. That one is into the gap. Knocked around by Ricky Weeks as Crawford has a double, and it's the 4th straight time he's been on base. 3 hits, including a single, a double, and a homer.
3 legs of the cycle. He gets a challenge fastball and a 3-2 count. I mean, the beauty of this at bat is that he was down the count 1-2. And this is a hitting coach's dream. And then he works it to a full count, and in the end, he pounds it through the opposite gap for a double. That's just a big league effort right there from Crawford.
So Brandon Crawford, not an All-Star, not named to the All-Star team, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Oh, and by the way, it was a 9-pitch at bat. They had to frame that at bat.
Mac Williamson, and it's 0-1. Chasing the breaking ball from Leone. Williamson has fouled out to the right fielder, grounded out to short, and grounded into a bases loaded force out. We've got another runner in scoring position here tonight. 3rd straight time where he's batted where a hit could mean a run. He shoots that one right over to the Arizona dugout.
So Bartolo Colon was named to the All-Star team, which I think is very cool. Dwayne Kuiper's son Cole said, well, hey, as soon as Colon made the All-Star team, National League knew they needed a belt, so they got Brandon Belt.
Bartolo Colon, 43 years old. And that's all for Mac Williamson. That did not last very long. So 1 away, and here is Grant Green.
Hey, sometimes one of the toughest pitches to hit is a hanging slider, especially up and in.
Green got a bases loaded walk his last time to get credit for a run batted in. He is 0 for 2. 5-2, the Giants ahead. Last of the 7th. Bartolo Colon, he pitched in an All-Star game, what, 20-something years ago? Barry Bonds hit a home run against him. That's out of play. I never forget being in the batting cage. Ricky Henderson, very late in his career, he was in his early 40s. He played for the Dodgers. And one of his teammates was a guy who'd been around a while, Jeremy Burnitz, a left-handed power hitter. And I was asking Ricky about his best All-Star game memories. And he remembered hitting a home run against somebody from 20 years before. And Burnitz said, "Are you kidding me? You played the All-Star game in 1982? When I was 12.
Oh, that's great.
0-2 the count to Green.
Well, I mean, Bartolo Colon, he's got more years in the big leagues than some of these guys have in life.
Colon, I believe he'll be the 3rd youngest, if he gets in the game, the 3rd youngest ever to appear in an All-Star game. And the 3rd oldest, I beg your pardon. On to the count to Green with 1 out. There's Crawford, who led off the inning with a double on this Orange Friday. 5-2, the Giants are leading. Off the hands, foul into the crowd.
Good mistake right there. They set that target away. You look at the target that Castillo put up on that 0-2 pitch. I think he was thinking paralysis, put it on the outside part of the plate or just off the plate away at the knees. Instead, it winds up going above the hands at 94. That was a perfect pitch. So a good mistake.
Checking Crawford at second. Leone blowing inside. 1-2. Leone just brought up for the minors on Wednesday. He is from Norwich, Connecticut, where the Giants used to have a team, a AA team that played in Norwich. Went to Clemson University. Way outside with that breaking ball. 2-2 the count now. He got into 3 games for the D-backs last year. Originally broke into the big leagues with the Seattle Mariners. And back in 2014, he tied for second among All-American relievers. He won 8 games and had a 2.17 ERA. But he has not been able to find that level of success since. Check swing. Did he go? No. Mark Carlson, the first base umpire on the appeal, saying no. 3-2.
Saw Silvino Bracco, the right-hander, getting loose for the D-backs down in their bullpen.
Three and 2 the count to Grant Green. Ramiro Pena is on deck. 1 out in the inning. Ahmed in a hurry, and he got him. Crawford, who went into third base with a slide. He's there now with 2 down, and Ramiro Pena will try and pick him up. Giants got 2 runs in the second of the Crawford home run. That tied the game. Arizona had a 2-run first. Their only runs against Samardzija.
Now coming over to third base, you just assume that there's going to be a play there. Make the slide. No throw, no big deal.
1-1 to Pena. So he was immediately, as a runner, thinking the way he was thinking as a shortstop. Like, hey, that guy might go after me.
That's right.
The ball was hit very softly. So he just took the guesswork out of it. Put the head first slide, making sure he was right at third and no more. And a foul out of play. Pena with a count of 0-2.
A lot of fastballs up tonight to Pena from the D-back staff.
Sergio Romo apparently getting ready to come on for the 8th inning for the Giants. Gregor Blanco, by the way, is on deck with the pitcher Law due up next. Giants leading 5-2. Struck him out. So that's all, a leadoff double, and then Crawford ends up being stranded at third base.
Margie is that man tonight, and why? Well, he was outstanding, a 7 strikeout performance, and after he hit Gene Segura in the 2nd inning, he would go on to retire 11 D-backs in a row. This is a strikeout against Nick Ahmed. Then he gets Wellington Castillo, Segura to end his night of strikeouts. A very strong performance, and really used all of his pitches tonight beautifully. Jeff Samardzija, our forward right choice. Right now, Sergio Romo, 6th time he's come in this year.
And Goldschmidt is at the plate. And a slider in there for a called strike.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Goldschmidt has singled to center, struck out, and fouled out to first. He's scored a run. Just off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lamb is on deck. The power's up right now. Goldschmidt, Lamb, and then Castillo. Giants lead 5-2. Base hit. Hit that slider very hard.
Josh Osich heating up for the Giants in their pen. That last slider from Romo just kind of lingered out there middle end. And for Goldschmidt, who's been red hot, not going to make those mistakes of location.
Jake Lamb, he's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. And that sinker down and away, ball 1. The shortstop Crawford plays Lamb right up the middle. Lamb has really hurt the Giants really ever since he came into the league. Little backdoor slider for a called strike. Tight spin on that one.
Perfect location at the outside corner, knee high.
Belt plays on the bag at first with Goldschmidt. 1-1 to Jake Lamb. Lamb, not an all-star, but with all-star numbers in the first half of this season. The highest slugging percentage of any hitter in the National League. Slugging percentage coming into this game, .625. 1-2. For Lamb, who has 20 homers, he has 19 doubles, he has 7 triples, .371 on base percentage. Does a lot of things well with the bat. 1-2 the count. Way outside.
That was a changeup. See the disgust. Romo really thought that he'd make that pitch after the fastball he just got the second strike with. Locate that thing down around the knees or below it. You get a hitter to go for it. You apply that front shoulder, drag, miss high. Really an easy take for Lamb.
2-2. And 3-2.
You hate to give easy takes when you're ahead in the count on a hitter. So Romo going to take a walk, have a discussion with himself. He knows he's got a challenge here with a 3-run lead. You can't be walking Lamb.
He struck him out.
3-2 slider, which has always been his bread and butter. And Romo comes up big. The no-dot slider, you do not get to see that little dot on the ball that tips the slider if you're hitting off of Romo. Reception has always been a big part of his success at this level.
That is a big out. And here's Wellington Castillo. Another D-back who has hurt the Giants in the late innings of games with home runs this year. That's a fastball, a sinker in there at the knees. Strike one. 5-2. The Giants are leading here in the 8th inning. Goldschmidt led off with a single. He's still at first, 1 out. Crawford at short, Green at second, double play depth, and Green pulled way over toward the middle against this right-handed pull hitter. And he took it.
Just a wee bit outside. Good pitch.
1 ball and 1 strike now. Ron Wotus is the acting manager. In there, strike 2 call.
By way of the front door.
Osich up in the bullpen, and now Santiago Casilla, the closer, a right-hander, gets up as well. He took it down and away.
Same situation. You're heading the guy 1-2, and you throw something way wide of the plate like that. It's an easy take. And you're not happy with that effort.
Two and two the count.
You want that hitter to get out of the strike zone chasing your stuff. Too wide, they won't.
Strike 3 called.
Two-seam fastball. He wraps around the outside corner at the knees, and watch Buster Posey frame this in. Sticks it right on the knees, outside corner, and they get the call from Walcott.
And that kind of stuff is Romo at his best.
Really is. I mean, he's always been a guy who's been able to corner pitch with 4 types of movement. 2 types of fastball, the no-dot slider, and the changeup. And, you know, when you get him into 3-2 situations, I mean, he always seems to be able to make that pitch, to throw that strike. And just a quality strike, too, not just one over the middle of the plate, T-ball location. We're talking corner at the knees.
After Goldschmidt's leadoff single, he struck out 2 in a row. Here is the pinch hitter, Chris Herman, another left-handed hitter. He started him with that sinker, 0-1.
Well, and in his mind, that sets up the changeup. Same type of movement. He'll throw that changeup with a 2-seam grip, and he'll get the same type of movement, only about 3 feet shorter of that fastball.
8th inning, 5-2 Giants. Drury, a right-handed hitter, is on deck. We had time out there. Drury had retrieved a ball that got loose from the Arizona bullpen. Bracho, a right-hander, warming up down there. Foul ball right over to Drury on deck, and it's 0-2.
Again, 2-seam sinker at 86 on the outside. Perfect location.
To the count. Runner at first, 2 down. And he slices it foul off to the left. Sort of a desperation hack at that one.
Yeah, it was a perfect pitch, and Herman did well to do exactly what you said. Just somehow get a piece to stay alive.
Herman, a backup catcher, and he has really hit well. 295 average. 6 homers as a part-timer, 28 batted in. Playing just half the time. And the slider is off the outside. Herman also has a .357 on base percentage. However, all of that hitting has not extended to his pinch hitting assignments. He's still looking for his first pinch hit of the year. He's 0 for 11. He's been so good with the bat, they've been playing him in the outfield and finding other positions for him just to get his bat in there. 1-2 the count. 2 down. No. And Romo thought yes, but off the outside, said Quinn Wolcott. Now Belt over to talk to Romo.
A bit outside. Tried to come by way of the back door. Posey didn't move his glove a whole lot. That's what Romo was reacting to. This time Wolcott not buying.
Two and 2. Tries it again and again off the outside.
So 0-2 to a 3-2, and 3 times he's missed with his bread and butter slider.
Romo, who's thrown 20 pitches in the inning, thinking it over on the infield grass.
You think back on that 1-0-2 pitch that Herman fought off to stay alive. Now he's going to get a pitch in the strike zone, or should.
There goes Goldschmidt. Struck him out. Another slider. And he strikes out 3 in a row, including 2 powerful right-handers. 5-2 Giants as we go to the last of the 8th here at AT&T.
Kane began his rehab assignment this evening with the AAA River Cats. And gentlemen, he got the win, and he had a no-hitter heading into the 6th inning. For all of you who love the stats, I've got his line. He went 5 2/3 innings. He gave up just 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, hit by a pitch, and had 2 strikeouts. He threw 73 pitches, and get this, guys, the first batter he faces, Nori Aoki, and he hit him. What's going on there, Mike?
Well, I mean, who would hit Nori Aoki on purpose? Meanwhile, here it's Silvino Bracho, 12th time that he has come in. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Bracho, low to mid-90s fastball with a slider and a changeup.
And he is facing the pinch hitter, Gregor Blanco. Asked Blanco how he was feeling. He's had that knee problem lately. He said he feels great now. Not a problem. And that's down and in. Bracho in his 12th game has got a 6.75 earned run average. He's allowed 9 runs and 12 hits in 10 2/3 innings in the big leagues this year. Five to 2, the Giants are leading. Outside and high, 93 miles an hour. Bracho, it's the 4th time he's been up with the D-backs this year. He just got called up from Reno back on the June 25th. Now for the Aces this year, he had 15 saves. He was the closer down there. He pitched very well last year in 13 games, his first major league season. That's a strike, and it's 3-1. Giants have a 5-2 lead, even though they've had only 1 hit in 13 at-bats with runners in scoring position. High in the air, up into the fog, deep right center. It is gone. Adios, pelota. Gregor Blanco with his first home run of the year. And that was pretty impressive.
Well, you never really are quite sure when it leaves the bat here when it's going to right field. Now when you're watching Brandon Drury, the right fielder, you see the challenge. A little 2-seam fastball, he backspins it. If you watch the right fielder, I mean, it looks like he's going to make the play like 4 different times. Gets back up to the wall and she gone.
That's right in that spot where the wall descends as Span drives one to center field. Bourne, and Span is 0 for 5. 1 away in the inning. The wall comes down from the 24-foot high height in right field, and it goes down to 20 feet high. And that was over the part of the wall that's a little bit higher than 20 feet high.
First career pinch hit home run, and his first home run in 184 bats.
So Blanco, who earlier this year was the Giants' most reliable pinch hitter. In fact, now he's 6 for 20 for the year, hitting 300 as a pinch hitter with his first ever, as you say, pinch hit homer. Here's Pagan, who's 1 for 4. That's the 3rd home run allowed by Bracho in 11 innings in the big leagues this year. Pagan hit a single in the 6th inning. Two 2-0 the count. Six to 2 Giants. And Hunter Strickland is up in the Giants bullpen. No longer a save situation by the rule book after that home run. Now 2-1 to Pagan. There is Strickland. And the bullpen coach, former Giants right-hander Mark Gardner. pride of Fresno.
Pride of Fresno State. He's a bulldog.
Popped up. Lamb comes over. And I think the wind's keeping this one in play. Out number 2.
Well, you see the home run trot. I mean, he's thinking extra bases and really not trusting him is going to get out of here. And he turns around and say, Billy Hayes, you are the man. And Billy kept him going. Because I don't think anybody could really assume that was going to go over the wall. You just can't in this ballpark.
Now Brandon Belt, who has walked 3 straight times after hitting a fly ball to left his first time. And it's 0-1. The Giants have 6 runs tonight, even though they've gone 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. But that's what the long ball will do for you. They got 2 homers. The only base hit with the runner in scoring position, Crawford, that knocked in a run. A throwing error by Jake Lamb allowed a run to score. There was a base loaded walk to get a run. Giants have had a little bit of everything tonight. They've had the ground game, they've hit the long ball, the aerial game. Two and 1. Brandon Belt announced today. It was announced today that Brandon Belt had made the All-Star team in the fan voting for the final position on the All-Star roster. So his first trip to the All-Star game is upcoming. That gives the Giants 4 members of the National League All-Star team this year. Follow Giants Baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. We could not live without it.
No, we could not.
Can't even imagine not having that app. There's a foul back to the screen. 3 and 2.
That's the app of the last 10 years as far as we're concerned.
Full count now to Brandon Belt. Buster Posey would be next. He's on deck. And another walk. That's the 4th straight time that he has walked. That's 53 walks drawn by Brandon Belt so far this year. Belt is 5th in the league in drawing walks. So Buster Posey will get another shot at it here. Dodgers lead San Diego, meanwhile, 10-6 on the out-of-town scoreboard. They go into the 8th inning in LA. Buster is 1 for 3 plus a walk. He scored 2 runs. Deep into center field. Bourne has room on the warning track. Giants get a run though. We're going to the 9th at 6-2. The Giants hit 3. Another home run. Gregor Blanco, 2nd home run of the night. On to the 9th.
is Brandon Crawford. This swing of the bat here, down 2-0. 2 strikes, 2 outs in the second inning. It tied the score. He would go on to go 3 for 3, 3 legs of the cycle with a home run and 3 RBIs. He is our play of the game. Brought to you by Honda. Brandon Crawford. Here it is 6-2. We're in the top of the 9th inning. And Hunter Strickland coming in to try and close this out for the Giants. His numbers in 40 games of relief work this first half. 3-1 with a 3.13 ERA. 29 strikeouts in 31 2/3. Mid to high 90s with the velocity of the fastball, more highs than mids. You got a hard slider and a changeup, or a split finger fastball, I beg your pardon.
And there's a slider, a first pitch called strike, which he's had a hard time doing.
Well, I mean, you know, at times you look at him and he misses off the plate in that first pitch with the slider for a ball. And guys aren't up there looking for anything but a fastball off this guy.
Well, he got a fastball and he ripped it. So a base hit for Drury.
96 mile an hour, 2-seam fastball. That's good at bat.
First hit for Drury, and there is the closer, Santiago Casilla. He'll be ready if needed, as Ahmed will come up. Ahmed has grounded a short, struck out, and walked. One ball, no strikes. Here is Span. One away. Span was playing just out in the medium center field, and it came right to him. And now Ricky Weeks Jr. will come up.
Ricky Weeks, 248 on the year with 5 big flies, 13 ribeyes. Lots of power.
Sorry, Mike.
Well, this is just power on power with Weeks, who can hit the ball as far as anybody in that D-backs team against a high velocity arm.
Way inside. Weeks came into the game in the 6th inning as part of a double switch and singled in his only at bat. That was the final pitch thrown by Jeff Samardzija back in the 7th inning. That was the only hit Samardzija allowed after the 2nd inning. Sharp slider and pretty good take there by Ricky Weeks. 2-0.
Strickland wanted it. He did not miss by much.
Fastball in the deep right center. Span on the run. Oh, he's got it. Having a re-tag at second is Drury. Crawford's throw. Safe.
Ooh, they might look at that one. What a spectacular catch, though. And the fact that he even had a chance to double up. Brandon Drury was 100% convinced this ball was going to get over the head of Denard Span, and watch how he gets after it. He didn't have a great jump. He makes up for this with his speed. He makes a backhander right around the height of his shoulders. Beautiful play, considering the distance he had to travel. And there's Drury. Has to come all the way back. He's got to retouch second. Just did beat it. What a play.
Wow. Welcome back, Denard Span. So here now is Segura. The runner going. The Giants were not holding. And Drury goes into second base uncontested due to the Giants' indifference. Six to 2 Giants, 2 down in the 9th. Two and 0. Segura hit the very first pitch of the game for a home run. At which point you said
it's bad luck.
And we all laughed.
Oh, hey.
And now it's the 9th inning, and here's Segura batting with 2 down and his team trailing by 4 runs. Right back where we started. Now it's 2-1. Segura taking all the way. And he pulled that one off the outside. 3-1.
Yeah, a bit of an overthrow. One thing about Strickland, I mean, you don't ever really worry about him throwing strikes. I mean, that's what is the beauty of his mechanics, and they're very compact for a guy that has such high velocity, which enables him to control that fastball.
Three balls and 1 strike to count. Three and 2.
Paint at 98 on a 3-1 pitch.
$41,576. The paid crowd at AT&T Park. Everybody standing now with 2 down in the 9th. 2 strikes. Michael Bourne on deck would be next. And a foul down the right field line. Hit hard, but foul into the crowd. We'll try it again. Dodgers have a 10-6 lead over the Padres in the last of the 8th inning down in LA on the out-of-town scoreboard. Giants began the day with a 6.5 game lead. Brandon Crawford, who's knocked in 3 tonight. Homer, single, double. Plus his usual stellar defense. Hanging slider. And there's Span. For the first time this year, the Giants beat the Diamondbacks in the Giants' own ballpark, which for the last couple